Hey, welcome back to the Métropole Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks for tuning in. It is January 11th, 2024. That's the new one. Hopefully you're doing well. We have a night of Netrunner ahead of us. We're going to be playing some Epiphany Analytica, an ID that came out and at the same time disappeared to never be seen again. Till today. Hopefully you're all doing well. Lucille, you made this happen again. I wasn't planning on streaming, and then I saw those peepers, and I was like, I guess I have to put this thing on now. I don't know how you're genuinely doing it. You were a bit early, though. So I waited. Jen, how's it going? Yo, those playmats are looking good. I know you all moved off to your own private Discord server for your own private testing group. And since then, I have missed the deck lists and all that. It's lonely out here, man. I'll figure it out at some point. It's the Grid Nato, how's it going? My condolences, Daojan, on Benhar and Sunset. Are people playing Sunset? How's it been? I haven't played a lot of it since. We played like 2 days of Sunset. I think more people are going to play it in a bit. On that note, which is pretty exciting, they said they would do it, and they did it, is Null Signal Games just introduced, or they announced that there'll be an accelerated beta test tournament as of next month. That's like the normal thing. Cool. But then also, there's going to be a Sunset tournament on Sunday, the 18th of February at 9 a.m. UTC. What time zone is that in my part of the world? I never know how to read that. 4 in the morning. Fantastic. Good luck, everybody else. Entry is free as the Sunset format does not qualify for Circuit Break Invitational. The prize support will be full art foil Sansan City grids. I think that's a charming prize. It's a shame that Sansan rotates out, but I think that's such like that's actually a really killer fun prize for the name of the event, because if you don't know, the Sansan art has the sunset on it. At least the NSG art of it does, which is great. Pretty cool. So I'm excited to see how that is. We'll see how many people register and how big of a thing it is. I think people are going to want some sort of like organized play around that time specifically. So we'll probably see more Sunset in the near future. Hey, Eric Hayden, how's it going, Neon? How you doing? It's non-competitive. What's going Oh, I opened this tab up. I'm going to shout this out later, I reckon. But Jeff just put out a video with Janktivist, who won the recent CBI last weekend with 64 players. The Man in the Moon put on talking about playing some Braun PD and some mulch. It's good. It's good stuff. Also, like, Janktivist went the whole thing and never mentioned Arkham Horror, which is kind of weird, honestly. Hey, Zargner, I'm interested to see how to go with Epiphany today. I tried it last week and I did not enjoy it. How's it going? It's like really wild. So when Epiphany was revealed, in terms of the mechanics of what it did, I'm pretty sure I'm on record saying, I don't know how it's going to win a game, but this looks really fun. Just because that ability does look really fun. It's kind of cool to peek at the top 3 cards of your deck. Now, we'll start the actual discussion of why I don't like Epiphany and why Epiphany has not really done anything. If you've been watching the tier lists, we're not very hot on Epiphany. It's like such a comparable identity, its ability to other things like R+ and even Asmari. And I, to some extent, do not think NBN is in an interesting spot right now where almost all the decks are kind of relatively interchangeable. There's actually a big chance that you can take some of the best like R+ decks right now and just play Asmari and it wouldn't be that much worse, which is kind of wild. And Epiphany falls into that camp where not only is it like maybe poorly comparable to a 40 card minimum R+ that has a more relevant ability, but also even if you want to play assets, do you want to just have 17 influence and draw a card every turn instead of doing this click action? That would be Nearth Hub. And so far the competitive testing has showed Epiphany to be unimportant in any single way. And I honestly think we can, and I know Say It Zero is a very interesting deck builder and this whole Wink, really sells it. But we could probably play this deck in just Asmari or NEH and it might just be strictly better, which is unfortunate. It's just there's no part of it. And I think that's something we're missing, is that we don't have a lot of cards that actually interact with this part of the game. I think Epiphany needs a bigger payoff where if they know the top card of the deck, they can get something for it. Currently, information is easy to undervalue in Netrunner, but so far it's the card that somewhat consistently gives you 2 credits, and you can even play that out of faction. Before I go back to chat, a lot of people are saying hi. I think the last thing I want to say about Epiphany is that all these cards like Federal Fundraising and then the other one that a lot of people don't even play, they're really good. At least this card is specifically really good, but genuinely, I undervalued how tedious it is to use this in-person play. It is genuinely taxing to look at 3 cards, pull one back, draw, do mandatory draw, all this sort of stuff. Like, it's something that I've kind of avoided to some extent at competitive play because it's an easy thing to goof up. And I know we've talked about how the hard-hitting news art, or sorry, the Oppo research art looks like the other card, balanced coverage, and so there's a reason you don't want to play both of them in your deck so you don't mess up terribly. But I don't know. This sort of thing actually is like kind of tiresome. It's powerful, but like having two of these on the table and then playing Epiphany would maybe give me a headache. No joke. Like genuine feedback. This seems a bit less fun to use than it looks. Hey, Capituino, how's it going? Frank, hello everyone. Andre, hope you're doing well. Baojan, how are you? Frank, I'm doing well. How are you doing? How's your holidays? Bonne année, eh? Elwin, good evening, chat. Good evening, Andre. How you doing? Solomir, it's only weird because you still haven't made more Arkham content yet. Oh, I worked on it a bit today. I made sure Tabletop Simulator works well, and I set up all the shortcuts and all this sort of stuff, so I'm getting there. But speaking of Epiphany, mind you, Solomir's, I think, the only player in the last like competitive season that had a high-ranking Epiphany game. I actually want to ask Solomir. Actually, Solomir says below, but I want to know, Joe, what your opinion is on Epiphany, because I know you came into top 8 as one of the first Epiphany players at Cascadia, which was in August, right? The in-person America's Continentals. And since then, that was the only standing we saw. Oh, there's Janktivist. Happy Thursday. We see those masks in New Arkham set. Where's like Janktivist? I was just saying the fact that you were on Jeff's thing and you didn't talk about Arkham Horror is really weird. You really should have gone on a tangent and made him uncomfortable. I think the masks so far are really cool. I think a lot of the cards I'm actually really excited about. I think that I'm pretty stoked about the whole set. I think Matchbox is like just a pretty good card. I think the green mask is like trickier than you'd want it to be. It doesn't work in some of the people I wanted to. The yellow mask is just good. Do you want to talk about Arkham Horror really quickly? Hold on, really quickly. I have Umbrage. Okay, so there's a new set of cards called Masks. And every class looks like they're getting a mask. I'd be not surprised if there were more masks, and or if masks had any relevant in the narrative, because it looks like we're going to some spooky village where there is a festival where people are wearing these animal masks. This word here, which is not a keyword, replenish. It says, so he uses 2 offerings. So when you play it, it comes in with 2 offerings. Offerings are just counters on it. And it says replenish one of those offerings after you reveal a location or put a new location into play. We are assuming that replenish means, and we've seen replenish on cards before, it means put a charge back on it, but you cannot charge it over its 2 offerings, because replenish largely means replace. But what I think it's really strange, and if someone can prove me wrong, nobody in the rules has said what replenish means. Like, the Arkham Horror rules do not define what replenish means. And I find that to be so strange. Like, that sounds like a pseudo keyword, but can you replenish over 2 offerings? Probably not. It just bothers me that like we've gone through a whole cycle they use the word replenish like this and they don't say what replenish means. They just say like it's obvious, which kind of tells a lot about what I think about card games where I kind of want structure. Interesting point about the Sandstone prizes. The new CO H1 kit has prepaid voice pads, which are going to rotate soon too. Yeah, those might have been commissioned sooner than like Dawn. Like Dawn actually I think was kind of, I wouldn't say last minute, but a bit more of a surprise to some. Like I think Dawn was a bit of a leap. But yeah, the prepaid voice pad promos are, you can play Eternal maybe. The NBN issue has been systemic for a while. Remember the new Angel Soul deck that won something last year? Oh, Joe, I actually really kind of like kicked myself about the new Angel Soul deck last year. I will pick this up for a second. I know I'm behind on chat. Give me a second. I will catch up. But this new Angel Soul deck that came out last year, the one event, this was before the rotation. I wasn't very happy about it, because it shows up exactly what the NBN problem was. New Angel Soul, for those who are uninitiated, is a blank ID text. It allows you to play with currents, and currents are not legal in any in standard format, so it's basically blank text. And then Juniper Theory steals third an event playing this blank deck. And currently this blank deck was basically just at the time a competitive Asmari deck largely, but just playing New Angel Soul, which is definitely a downgrade. And I was like, this really upset me. It turned out that like the narrative behind this was actually like a big, this deck had ties to QTM, and it comes up in one of their podcasts how they're very happy about this deck, and there's a lot of love in the chat here, and I was like pretty pessimistic because like it's not that I don't like the deck, it's just like I don't know, it was complicated to me because like I didn't want to show up with a blank ID and then win it, because I feel like, yeah, I don't know, you're just stunting on people. But it was a QTM thing and I felt really bad because I was dunking on QTM, it turned out, maybe abstractly, but yeah, that's the point. It's just like at the end of the day we've seen so many IDs that NSG has put out that your ID actually really changes how you build the deck. NBN has really missed that mark for a long time. And I'd argue the only big success that really makes you build into your ID in a very, very interesting way are things like Prob Devos that actually are different decks. And it's been a lot better on the runner side. Like ESA decks or Anarch decks that play differently. That's really cool. We've seen huge success with that. Ob decks are their own thing. It's really cool. The Ob deck is different than every other Wayland deck. And I'd like to see that more because so much of the NBN we've seen in the last forever is just like slightly different value-based IDs. And like, Yo, Jenny, how's it going? I feel like it's been a minute. Hey, gang, how you doing? I started playing Marvel Snap again. Are we doing bad? I think NBN card pool is probably the strongest compared to other faction card pool. I wouldn't say that. I think NBN has some of the highest highs. But I feel like the NBN card pool, like you're seeing this in Sunset, it's almost entirely propped up like 1 or 2 cards. I think the HP card pool slaps. The Jateki card pool is pretty uneven. The Wayland card pool is somewhat uneven. I wouldn't say the NBN. NBN got good ice recently. Oppo is interesting, but like their agenda suite's terrible. It's only Bologna. I don't know if I'd say that. I screw up Daily Business Show. Fundraising is asking for disqualification. It's a real concern for sure. FF is definitely tedious. I was getting tired just having one firing every turn. Yeah, it's tedious and it slows down the game in a way that DBS felt more elegant. Really quickly, 2 hours from now. I heard your Arkham comment. Oh, good. I'll go to my side. Can't wait for our next game. Hell yeah. Yo, what are you guys playing? Frank Daujan. I actually like the decision-making federal fundraising. Remind me of the old card Precognition, but you do it every turn. Yeah, that card just didn't see a lot of play. There's another Jinteki card that's like, oh man, Kinesis something, Psychokinesis. It's a cool idea, and the fact that it went from Jinteki to NBN is also really strange. I've talked about this on the stream before with Pat. The idea of seeing the future in pre-crime is meant to be a Jinteki thing, and we're seeing it more in NBN, which is like, that's fine. That's totally fine. NBN is controlling the narrative, so they can see the top of the deck. That's fine too. Yo, Izzy, how's it going? Congratulations again on last weekend. It feels like, yeah, it's been barely a week. Epiphany's ability is hella strong, anywhere from windmilling Beal from R&D onto SSSG to being able to plan out your plays on your next turn plus. Yes, I think it's very easy to like discount the fact that you know the next cards on R&D, so you can plan your turns, you can do all that sort of stuff. Obviously, this needs interaction. I think we also saw some narrative across like the beginning of when Epiphany came out, is that we saw for a while. I know, like, I'm pretty sure Tuna was playing Epiphany decks at the first APAC Continentals, and it was a grind of a deck, right? Like a lot of those games went to time because like runners just trashed the assets that did something. At that time, it was like a Bladderwort type deck. And then otherwise people really learned not to run and basically have a blank identity. And then it was really hard for NBN to build a board state in which you have to encourage them to run because they could still win off Central sometimes. I don't know. I don't have a lot of experience with Epiphany, so I'm excited to dive into it today. But I just want to, get it out there that I'm not the most optimistic about how it's going to go. Hey, Jay, how's it going, friendo? Gordy, I learned this week that a kid I knew 30 years ago when both her families lived in Indonesia is now the lead designer of Arkham Horror. Yo, what? That's pretty cool. 30 years ago when both her families lived in Indonesia. That's awesome. How'd you learn that? You just saw the name and you're like, wait a second, I recognize that. Doesn't the rule say if you don't know the rules, assume the worst possible case? Sort of. There is a thing called the Grim Rule in Arkham. I think a lot of people misuse the Grim Rule, but the Grim Rule it's more specific than that. It's usually when it comes to timing and stuff like that. I don't think, though, that you should have that as a thing that balances your, these jokers using words for the literal meaning. What is the worst possible case to replenish? It doesn't go above 2. You're allowed to dislike specific content a creator makes? Wait, sorry, Joe? I wear weighted clothing in Netrunner terms to handicap my extreme power. Oh, man, Foggless, how's it going? Epiphany does pretty different asset suite to NEH or R+, focusing on more deck manipulation tools that is typical. Yeah, and I think like that's a bit of the argument. Is like, would you rather have deck manipulation or would you rather have fire hose, which is just NEH, right? Like NEH gets a free action every turn to draw a card. And is it better to get the right thing on the table or more things on the table? And obviously the NEH decks that did well at Worlds and did well at the Continental season, like they're a bit more of a trap deck. They really do want to put a lot of things on the table, not the right thing so much, just a lot of things. Like there's a big reason that you're fighting uphill with 17 influence and that sort of, playing generally a 4 to 5 click runner every turn with Wage Workers, right? Like Wage Workers works really well, not with Epiphany, but it does with NEH. Stuff like this kind of adds up. Uh, that being said, yeah, you have some really cool stuff. Like you can get Epiphany and then you can MC Austerity to find an agenda off the top of your deck. That's kind of cool. With federal fundraising, if they don't trash it, like you never draw your agendas if they don't see deep multi-axis, which is actually pretty common modernly. Like people will see 2 or 3 cards in R&D. So there's a lot that goes on into it. I'm a lot more interested in going back to Prob than trying more Epiphany. Yeah, that's the way I see it too. But like Prob also seems really good right now because people are running consistently. Hey, Cror, how's it going? Issue trying to narrow down what the faction's identity. What's NBN do? Tag you? Anything else? Well, so if you ask me, NBN is obviously meant to tag you. That's its own thing. The value of a tag right now, it's different than it used to be. I think it's in a much more reasonable place. They're also meant to be about information, right? But it's generally meant to be about information about the runner. Cards like Your Digital Life too, just like consumption in a weird way. Not like so one of the key quintessential NBN cards, as much as this is like 10 years old now, is Sweeps Week. Uh-oh, hold on, Firefox will froze. Are we okay? I think we're okay. It's loading. Okay. Right. So the idea that the more the runner consumed, the more money you had on them. And then we get a bunch of like weird things where it's like based on the amount of cards in the runner's hand, you can do something and you scale off that. And this whole information, like there used to be this ID that saw almost no play, not harpsichord, Chandra. How do you spell it? Harsashandra? Harashandra. Like nobody played it to the point that we don't know the name. Like this sort of thing is that the runner reveals their hand. That was another kind of subtype of NBN that was not very well explored. The idea of like seeing into the hand and trashing the right thing, which we do still see a bit of that modernly with cards like Vera. But otherwise, like NBN it's like also the thing that Epiphany that I don't think grabs a lot of people is that there's clearly so much narrative going on with like the religious symbology and the fact that they have some sort of like, I don't know if I want to say messianic, but wait, I don't know what the word is there, but there's like some sort of character that's running Epiphany Analytica that is, revered. Like there's a lot of theme for NBN that hasn't popped off in part 1 of Liberation that I think part 2, we might see more cards that make this more powerful because there's clearly a lot going on here. And the way that Epiphany is relevant in the conversation about, clone and rights and Byroid rights, it's not very apparent, and I'm also excited for that too. It's only below until you get turn 2 Aries. Aries is good too. You don't see it everywhere, but it's definitely good. I had to make so many triggers of Federal into DBS in the last tournament games for my channel. We started playing chapters from Fleos. I don't know what that is. I've never heard of it. Jinteki predicts the future. NBN makes the future. Yeah, they control the future. Hey, David, wonderful twice a week we get content, plus some bonus material here and there. Yeah, bonus material here and there. On that note, there's going to be a lot of content this weekend with the big stream going on. The CBI, we're hosting that on the Null Signal Games thing. Every Thursday, I assume. I last saw you a week ago, and always I'm surprised to learn it was merely 2 days. It's weird what it is. It's like I was sitting down for this and be like, oh, let's talk about the news. And it's like, oh, it's been 2 days. It's not a weekend. I did play a lot of Spirit Island. We can talk about that. I think R+ is just better than Epiphany because NBN's ice and assets pivot off of tagging, and R+ just gets more value and adds pressure from it. Yes. The fact that the ice is like res super cheaply, that oppos are super cheap, that you have options about card draw on credits, like it's hard to undersell, and also like a 40 card minimum. Like R+ is great. Christmas card from his family to mine mentioned he was working at FFG, so I reached out to say hello since it's such an odd coincidence. That is really cool. Kat, I'm doing well. How you doing? If they trash every turn, Epiphany has the same click efficiency as NEH, so just play assets they want to trash or put down a hostile architecture. You don't have the same click efficiency as NEH. Because in NEH, you put a thing down and then you draw a card, right? So you do something you're going to do anyways, and you get a free card draw. Arguably with Epiphany, you have to spend a click and then you can look at 3. It could whiff, but you have less options in hand. That being said, NEH does flood up to some extent. It's somewhat comparable. But I'd argue it's less like with things like wage workers being as relevant as they are in the modern meta. I would definitely play 17 Influence NEH that you actually can do the triple install pretty consistently. Hey, MGN001, how's it going? The Grim rule is meant to keep the game moving so that 3 other people aren't waiting for you to dig through the rules to figure out if something works. It's like someone has to flip over a sand timer and just wait. Federal DBS is the actual devil to micro, both on JNet and Meatspace. Yeah, I don't think I've seen a deck with both Federal and DBS in such a long time. Balance coverage is also really good econ when you have enough deck knowledge to fire it every turn. The thing is, like, balance coverage does not require Epiphany to fire, and I think most people aren't even playing balance coverage. Now that we're in dark mode, whenever I open a new tab, like, you still get that whiplash, but like, if you're playing Federal, you can still play balance coverage. I'd argue you can still play balance coverage without any sort of information about your deck, you can just say asset. And in most decks are playing like 18 assets. But even this deck is not seeing like consistent slots. Like, I don't think this deck is playing it. It's not, right? Like, you would assume it is. And I think that's the thing that we need, is that we need more cards that make you need to play Epiphany, right? Like, what is that card that says like reveal the runner's hand? Focus group, right? Like if you had a focus group like effect where you could reveal the top cards of your deck and then get some sort of benefit from that if you can call them correctly, like that is the sort of thing that you need for Epiphany to be more interesting than any of the other NBN value-based options. Because at the end of the day, like we're still just saying, what is the slightly better value-based option to spam thing on the table, right? Like it's not a fundamentally different deck. It is just like, what's a better way to get cards onto the table in a slightly different way, which is fundamentally my problem with NBN right now. They're all kind of the same. There was Nemec had an NBN ID that I thought was so cool, which is you play, I think it's like you play with the top card of your deck face up, but once a turn, so every turn you could either gain 2 credits or draw a card. It was something like that. So you had this like ridiculous effect because they see what's on top of your deck, you see what's on top of your deck, but on the start of your turn and technically at any point on their turn, you can either choose to get 2 credits and leave the card there or draw the card and now it's suddenly an HQ, right? Like that's the sort of thing where information's a bit more interesting. And again, is that deck still just a value-based deck? Yeah, it's probably to some extent it is, but it allowed you to play like your digital life really cool because you had clickless card draw. It allowed you to set up like these sort of like punitive trap decks where like, I know where the agenda is, go get it. And then you can still draw at instant speed. Like it was quite powerful. I think it wasn't whenever, I think it was just start of turn that would trigger. But like that sort of like give information, benefit from information is really cool. As much as that does fall still into the trap of it's just another value-based ID. NBN has some cards that are like name a card in the runner's hand, they reveal, yeah, do X, but like information's so poorly implemented on mechanical level. Chapters in the Vampire the Masquerade board game, Fleos Games did. It's a local company. Oh, cool. I started playing the Spirit Island TTS mod solo. What a nerd, am I right? It's quite well implemented. I've seen it because of some of the content creators I watch play it. The Spirit Island app on like, I think it's on mobile, but also on PC seems to be quite good as well. Just triple Epiphany with Wage Breaker is easy. NEH saves you drawing the card. Epiphany saves you drawing the card you never miss with Epiphany. Yes, but sometimes it's also about like getting, you know, like operations in hand. Because like you can install NEH and get the value without spending the click. Like sometimes you install a card, draw a card, and then you still like advance. You know what I mean? Like you get the value, I would say, more consistently because it happens any turn regardless of your opponent's interaction. Augustus, how's it going, by the way? Congratulations on the last weekend. You're an absolute treat to watch. It just seems like there's no way your opponent trashes something every turn. No, they probably don't. Epiphany's a fun idea. Is the corp equivalent to having build in DPS, but with more information? What is the value of information in a card game where bluff is part of the game? Yeah, but where's the bluffing here? And even then, if we're playing, what's it called? Like a motion type deck, I don't think you would do Epiphany. Like if you want to do bluffing, you just play Providence, right? Peeping Tom was a nice that did it. I think the issue with balance coverage is the reveal part. Yeah, revealing's not good. I wonder if install for 1 credit less may have helped. Yeah, that's the weird thing too. Is like you can use Epiphany for ice, but you almost never see Epiphany for ice, right? Like if you can install it and save credits on your remote server. The thing is, like as soon as you play a lot of ice, like, your ability is not going to fire a lot. Like playing Epiphany Glacier doesn't make a lot of sense. It also encourages you to spam assets because for this to be relevant, you have to either be spamming a lot of agendas or a lot of assets, which is already like something that a lot of people don't love in Netrunner, but like NEH is going to do it, so why not? I think it just needs to have almost the exact same idea. I think it just needs to not have almost the exact same idea in the card pool. Yeah, I think you're totally right, Argentina. How's it going? Is that once later this year when NEH rotates, like this might be a more relevant thing if you need to go horizontal in NBN. And I'd argue still there, it's hard to compare this to Reality Plus. Literally just Future Sight for Magic. I don't know what that is, Jai. What is Future Sight in Magic? Future Sight Magic. Epiphany's capability to hit all installables usefully compared to NEH awkwardness does have some deck building impacts. Awkwardness with ice. Yeah, it can. Epiphany also lets you rip cards you've hidden behind Snare, Behold, non-trashable with Fed Fund when you need them. That's just like not a play line that shows up, and it's often better to like NEH decks put Snare on table. They put Behold on table, right? Like running R&D for singles when you're spamming out horizontally is also like not often a great plan. Like they need to keep you from spamming out horizontally. That like having R&D defense in an asset spam matchup, I don't value that much. Future Sight is a set. That ends that discussion. I thought yellow's banned now. We're not playing Sunset. Piotr, how's it going? And Endergun, how's it going? Been getting to Netrunner through your content. Just pronounced startup this week. Do you have any suggested decks or archetypes I could use to teach others over the weekend? Sorry if off topic, not at all. Okay, if you're playing startup, so I'm not too familiar with startup right now because I've been out of startup for a bit. But what I would recommend is, generally when players get into, okay, firstly, if you're on Netrunner DB, not a lot of people know this. If you go to search, mind you, netrunnerdb.com is where people do deck lists, and you go to select allowed packs here, you can go to startup, and this helps you a lot. Generally in startup right now, ESSA is legal in startup, right? Yeah. So ESSA is really fun. Sabotage is really fun. So if you search this, you can generally grab anything that is like legal. 2023 it will get you there, and you can find some really good stuff. Ones I'd recommend for the runner, ESSA is really fun. It's really aggressive. You get sabotage, but you want to try and make sure that you are running. It's not a good idea to sit back and try and win off of what sabotage is. Criminal's really good. Zaya and Sable are both really fun. I would not recommend Mercury so much, but there's a lot of like really good fundamental startup decks. Magic Christmas Land, this one might be frightening. Fine, cool. Criminals are really fun because they really engender interaction. You have to be running constantly, and that's one of the best things a Netrunner is running, and a lot of runners are too scared to run. You just want to keep running, which is fantastic. So maybe that's good. In terms of the corp side on startup, again, what are the startup corps right now? Your hub is fun, I guess. You got it's horizontal. Ian, how's it going? But basically, if you search just about anything in here, like what I would actually recommend to do is if there's a card in startup that you think, oh, that's actually really cool. How does that work? Like say that you like think Bladderwort's really cool. If you put this on startup and you search Bladderwort, you'll get a bunch of decks that make sense, which is really cool. Swifty Swan, startup, 4-0. It's an Epiphany deck. So the thing that we're playing today. But yeah, I would recommend those fundamentals. What's the HB right now? Oh, it's Thule? Oh, that's kind of fun too. I don't have like good recommendations for startup decks right now because I haven't played startup, but searching Netrunner DB, searching for a card or two you like and limiting your search should be in a pretty good spot. Yeah, that'll get you there. Swifty Swan's a really good Epiphany deck. Cool. Oh, FOI, sick. Yeah, you can't play Bologna in this one. Future Sight is an MTG card that basically makes the top card of the deck be playable like it were in your hand. Oh, sick. Yeah. We see that a lot in Arkham. We're seeing that in Marvel Champions. It is the shaper I designed in my set too, that you can interact with the top of the deck because it does seem fun. Would Epiphany be OP if the ability was clickless on their turn? Yeah. Yeah, clickless install. Well, it's busted, right? Like you can just fast advance 3/2s from the top of your deck. So fundamentally, you can have that. If they say you can install, but you can't score this turn if you use the Epiphany, it would still be like a very, very, I honestly don't know, probably. Like you'd be playing a 4-click corp, no problem. But they'd have to trash and interact, but you'd be spamming out so consistently they'd have to trash. Yeah, it'd be absurd, but just the fact that you can score out 3/2s off the top of the deck would be a problem. Foil Sentence is almost enough to get me playing at 4 a.m. Yeah, Dan, I'd search it too. I was like 4 a.m. Okay, well, that decides that. I think another thing that doesn't get said is it feels like federal fundraising ate Epiphany's lunch. FF does the interesting, scary, and future set without taking the ID slot. Yes, Cold Lava. That's a huge point. Is that this card is really good, and this card already does what Epiphany does, and it costs no influence, costs nothing to res, so you can play as an R+. Right? Like this is so close to what you want Epiphany to do, which is a free card draw, look at the top 3, and rearrange. And it's so easy to play. 3 deep dive new shit, yeah. I have a spread of startup decks that you're balanced against each other. Or in GLC, I can say DM to you. Oh, super cool. Yeah, if you're on GLC, Enderground, try and find Lucille. That's really cool. Anyways, let's try into this deck. So this deck right now looks very close to a lot of the R+ decks right now. So what do people call the R+ deck that was at UK Nats that runs like a whole bunch of HB cards? I think it has like a really kind of cringe name, like nighttime something something. Can someone elucidate on that one? I don't like the name. But what I'm upset about is like what I know that archetype as is Bouncy Castle. Dark Fate, that's it. Dark Fate. Oh, okay, hold on. Author name. Right? What's the name? It's Dark Fate. So this is a deck that came second in Can Nats. And I think this is the first deck that I saw of it that was like basically an HP tempo deck in R+, that is running Managarm Skunkworks. I think Dark Fate just went a bit farther and it's on Anoetic, and it was playing things like a Bladed Barrier B1001, spamming out assets and having a win condition, playing Drafter, stuff like this. But basically an HP based tempo R+ deck. I don't know. And then who played a version of this? Axu or Augustus? Somebody else played a version of this and they tuned it and they played I think a sharper version even at a later event and did relatively well. And the Dark Fates and like the Canal decks are like very similar to that. I don't know if the inspiration was taken. I just want to like just stand a bit for Kyle here with this sort of deck because this is really cool. But this deck is like that sort of shell right now. It has MC Austerity Policy, which is actually quite cool and quite different. Oh, Jai, you did it. Thank you. Yeah, huge. And these sort of like, you know, it basically makes it an HB tempo list. We're spending all our influence on some like, you know, HB cards where the clicks, compression, and the value gives us should, you know, overtake. Dark Face has been based on Canal directly. Yeah, 100%. It's just the most modern iteration and has the name that a lot of people know, even though it's really goofy. I played Jai's old deck at Attorney recently. Okay, cool. But yeah, Kyle made a huge influence on the archetype. Exactly. And like, I don't know, it's just not discussed anymore. But I think that's a really cool thing that Kyle put out. And it like played way better than it looked. And this is like another version of it where you have some other things like you have Amani Sanai to attack the runner on a different angle for sure. Austerity Policy is actually kind of neat with Epiphany because you don't have to keep the agenda in hand. You can technically Bologna off the top rope and then like score it out fast events if you get that austerity up. In theory, Austerity Policy is a really unfair card with things like Oppo Research because they don't have enough time to clear all the tags and contest the table and, you know, anything else they have to do. I was like really surprised. Why are we spending 3 influence on greasing the palm? And then remembered it has tag clause on it. I honestly don't know how or why we spend 3 influence on this. It does allow you to fast events and AR hand security as single tag punishment, which is pretty wild. That's kind of cool. We obviously have in faction other ways to fast events, but they require 2 tags. So I guess some runners might float a single tag, but I don't know what to do with this card. Like if it's in our opening hand, do we just tempo it out or do we hold on to it? It's very expensive at 3 influence. And like, we kind of don't have that much economy. Again, if they trash all our assets, we have nothing. So like, I don't know how maybe we can come back soon fast, but like, it's the same sort of thing where I believe if they get down an Imp and an Opkari, we're in a really bad spot. We'll see how it is. The ice is a bit different. We have B1001, which is a very important thing to set up and protect, and 3 fun houses means you can protect centrals with just 2 fun houses and you're a pretty good spot. We have a drafter, which is sick. We have a lot of things to install. We have a Sansan as a thing they have to trash, and I think it's important to have things that they have to trash, otherwise they can get along by not trashing our stuff, which means we play a blank identity. And our agenda suite, we want AR to be annoying. As soon as we have AR, should we be R+? Who knows? Probably. And then we can just score out from that. So it's a mix of a, you know, tempo jam, get some HP value stuff, get those clicks working for you. We don't have, mind you, this is the sort of slot that usually goes into Wage Workers, which I do like Wage Workers a lot. Install Advanced Blown and Quad Advanced Blown is really good. Triple install. It's like Wage Workers are pretty good compared to MC Austerity Policy, but it's cool to see this as well. I mean, greasing means an AR gets scored if they float a single tag. Yeah, I know, but it's a one of. And like, do we hold this? And if they had the tag, are they going tag me? And if they're going tag me, do we want to score out an AR enhanced security? And then we're clearing the tag for them? Like, that's kind of expensive. Like, clearing the tag for the runner is definitely worth something for them. So it's hard to say how we meant to play it. I think the Elis are cool. Eli seems fine. It's HB. Drafter instead of ablative. I think some of the versions that we see were playing Drafter all the way back over this summer too. Like, did I close it? This one was playing Drafter too. I think Drafter is just such a good ice. Like, obviously Starlit Knight is a bit of a blowout. It's a bit better in R+. We're like, us paying 5 for this to give the runner 2 tags in the early game is probably a huge detriment, but Drafter is sick. Returning an opponent with Drafter, like if that happens, you're in a really, really good spot, of course. I'm definitely interested to play this. Daily Quest is also really strange. Like Regolith fits the slot a lot. We also could be playing balanced coverage, but this means that we need to protect this thing. I know the Sayed Zero is like really into the Daily Quest. If it sticks, it sticks. But I think there's a lot of cards that fit this sort of slot. And this one, we'll see how it goes. Ablative is Busto. Yeah, Ablative is really cool to set up that sort of like B1001 fork. I've seen a lot of NBN decks playing Ablative for B1000. It's kind of really cool. It seems like fine meal for loop decks. Wenegon, yeah, I know. Please do not summon the loop decks. Also, please, I know this came up recently in the video, and I know Axu's out there psyoping, but it is not loop. We have to get this out of the way before we have our big event, and there's going to be a lot of people casting and saying the word Lou. This is Lou. Lou is the French word for wolf. That's because he's a nice wolfy boy. He's a wilder. It's not loop. That's a soft P. Just imagine it's this. You don't have to say that part. It's not there. Loop. How to be condescending, but I'm very happy. Low up. Oh, shit. I'm guilty of calling him loop. Oh, Ben, I'm so sorry. You've been caught. Yeah, it's a French word for wolf, which makes the whole theme make a lot more sense. So hopefully there's something in that as well. New corp deck R+ sucks. Also, Ben, I enjoyed your the video, but I watched the stream as well. I enjoyed the content regardless. What's it called? Epiphany Analytica. Nice wolfy boy. Gonna go brave on the snowy drive home. Keep listening to YouTube. Solomir, safe drives, eh? Do y'all have a lot of snow out there? It eased up a bit, but it was kind of bad for a minute. I'm not familiar with what GLC is, but I totally want to give those decks a look. Oh, hold on. Endorgan. Firstly, nearearthhub.net. The links for all of these will be in the YouTube video once the stream is done. I catch up on them. But this is the website that has a whole bunch of links to really great Netrunner things. GLC is the shorthand for green level clearance, which is the premier Discord server for Netrunner players, particularly also newer Netrunner players. So just join that server and then you'll be like, hi, I'm a new player. And then there's so many resources in there. There's so many nice people. You can be like @mentor and flag the mentor handle to be like, I'm looking for a game, or like, can someone give me a review on this deck list, or like anybody in my local meta, is there anyone here from insert local city? Check it out. It's green level clearance. I think the invite is just like discord.com/invite/GLC. Like, it's as simple as it is. For those who don't know, green level clearance is an old Netrunner card from way back in the day. That might be lost on a lot of people, actually. Thank you. Hope we can do more of it. Yeah, it's really cool. If you're starting to play now, I'm gonna go start anti-manifesting the Lou players. We gotta scare them. Somebody start playing Thule in another server so they want to go there. It's cool there's a Thule deck. Unfortunately, there's a lot of Lou decks out there. Just noticed Stowen earlier today. Shout out to Iron Fox. We've been like absolutely smashing into Iron Fox, and more arguably, Iron Fox has been smashing into us week after week, just like playing soft combo decks into Lou, and it's been miserable. One of the best tempo positive HB econ cards. Which one, Elwin? Greasing? Greasing's totally fine. It's fine. I don't mind it. I like it because it makes turn one drafter seem better. I keep trying to call drafter architect. I don't know what happened. I'm like digressing. I catch myself calling drafter architect like 9 out of 10 times. And that's a new problem. Like, I don't know. Arsène Lue, gentleman thief and master of disguise. Exactly. Oh, one of the best tempo positive HB econ cards, green level. I want to go that far. I think the clearance has got a bit better since then. I think it was pretty mid. I'm a bit concerned that the crowd of Lou from the New Year's CO will make short work of my being the CBI if I play R+. I would be concerned about it. I think though, if you put the reps into it, Eric, there's a big chance that, like, if I know you've been practicing it, there's a lot of people that are going to be like, oh, this Lou deck looks good. And I think the Lou deck is tricky, but I think that R+ does not love that Lou deck. I think there's some things you can do about it to make it a bit better for you, but I agree with that. I think that's a very reasonable concern. I think that's a big reason why we didn't see a lot of R+ at the last CO. Just play more environments, I guess. I don't know. Play a Conundrum. You can't afford it. Simply dodge or lose. Simple as. I think you're thinking Violet level clearance. I'm going to try to dodge all the op myself. Yeah, there's a lot of much better clearances since green. Green was the first, though, which that is worth something for sure. All right, Ken, going to play run events. Diversion of funds, inside job, 3 of X each. That's a problem. Maybe some Maker's Eye. We're going to see definitely Debbie Downtown, which is kind of cool. Mesto Chester for HQ is totally fine. We can put Rashida and B out there in remote servers. Dirty Laundries to trash Rashida's. That's okay, but like if we lose a Rashida, I'm going to keep this. We honestly don't mind too much if they score an early Bologna. Because on threats on, I guess. But like we have to pay 7 for Oppo. There was 11 R+, but none in the cut. Oh, I didn't know it was that. That's actually more than I thought it'd be. But that's like less than it is at a lot of other metas. So this is where daily quest is tricky, right? Like if it's a regolith, we just put it out there. Now we have to ice up HQ because we're actually playing against Central's pressure, which is a bit different than it can be. But we're just going to put some cards on the table. We'll put Rashida as outermost. Hopefully she survives. A huge difference in the game if she survives this turn versus her not. So we'll see if there's a Dirty Laundry. There's not too many run events that like tempo positive check the table here in Criminal. Mostly dirty laundry. You want to play one run event a turn, mind you. They get a credit on it. Shit. They went for the outermost. Now, if they trash that, who's laughing? That's a Rashida worth of value. What? Oh, wow. I'm surprised they didn't dirty laundry this, but they did have the dirty laundry. So that's a 4 credit econ AR off the top. Okay. So we can hit them with the Oppo for 2 tags when they have 12 credits on this. This is bad. Would we Oppo him if it was for free? Yeah. Would we Oppo them for 2 credits? I don't think so. Always remember to thank your I'm going to try to hit the Epiphany button. Top to bottom, hedge fund, Starlit Night, Funhouse. Neat. So the problem is, okay, so now we know the top of the deck is safe. We don't want to res ice because we have hedge fund coming up. Funhouse on the remote with B is like pretty reasonable. But I actually don't want that because if they run it and bounce off it, we lose the game. So I'm going to do Starlit in the remote. But the thing is we get the AR, the daily quest behind it. Like we get so blown out here if they have an inside job or something. Because like at least if they diversion us, we can res this, but then they can bounce the daily quest. Like this is such a very risky line. They laundry R&D because they respect the spin, unlike our bans into the dock. I don't think we need Starlit on R&D just yet, Joe, because we know the top 2 are safe. But yeah, eventually. It's just like if they bounce into this, maybe they'll inside job it. I don't want to res 5, go down to 0. Hey, Debbie's here. Oh, Miss Bones too. This looks like it might be an issue. At least we have our DQ. Okay, so we don't have an ability this turn. So the daily quest is going to eat our server for a while. We're actually going to flood up a bit. So we can draw once, get the Funhouse on R&D. The B1001 Funhouse interaction is good. B1001 Starlit Night interaction is good too. It's good enough. But they're probably going to check this. I think we just draw a hedge fund and we have to ice R&D. I'd hate to put this there. I don't know. Start on the remote to jam a Sansan until later is fine. I think we only have 1 Sansan though. You see how they're not interacting with us? Obviously we are plus, that would still be an issue, but like they should set up. And now we have to overinstall like the Starlit Night. Otherwise we can put like Rashida AR on the table. That's not amazing. I only want to feed them the AR once they're on threat 3 so that we can like actually give them 4 tags, but this is tricky. Like I don't know what to do here. Like we probably do remote, but at this point they're going to inside job. We can also double ice this and trash the daily quest. I think the daily quest might have done enough. Let's try this weird double sentry remote server. That does make a lot of sense. So you know that he draw was going to be a Funhouse before he clicked it? What value? Yeah, that's cool. That is genuinely cool that we knew we were going to draw. That is actually very interesting. This message chest was fine. It might get boomeranged, but they lose 3 credits. That's okay. That's like a reasonable face check. I'm worried they're going to do boomerang diversion, but it'll drop us to 4. That's enough to at least hit a drafter on the last click if they contest this. Okay. 5 credit click because of Debbie. It's kind of cool. So now they see B1001. We have 3 of these, right? Obviously with Miss Bones is a bit of a bummer. But we have an Epiphany click. In theory, they should be batch trashing. Like that's the big thing that they should be doing is they should be setting up. Oh, they got their killer down first. That sucks. At least it's 4 for drafter. But this is where I'd much rather have a Regolith because we would have emptied a Regolith by now. And then I don't know what to do with this server. We could figure out what the top of the deck is. We could put this in the remote server, put Rashida out. That's maybe fine. I'm going to just try and keep them busy. Obviously, if the Rashida goes down, like we're not that happy about it. But it might just distract. It's hard for them to run all 3 things here. I'm not exactly sure what we're doing. It's okay. We'll figure it out. Getting an AR enhanced security obviously changes the game, but at this point, they'll definitely like batch trash, which is not good for us. They have a crew period down. What are we on barriers? I think we're on Eli. Debbie for the remote server. Love it. So they have 5 credits to work with. This is going to cost us an arm and a leg, but this already cost them 4 credits. So they might not want to continue through the Starlit Night because it will land. They're outermost checker person. Yeah, I know. We kind of, we're going to zag when they zigged. So they might not want to continue here. I think this is actually like a relatively big blowout. Obviously they get our AR, which is kind of bad. But here, having 2 tags, they can't clear both of the tags. So we can like trash Miss Bones, trash Debbie, get a Rashida. Like, that's kind of cool. Oh, they can break one of these subroutines. Man, this is 2 strength. Bummer. That's fine for them. They won't be able to clear the tag, though. Fire all? They can break one of these subroutines, though. If you really want that. I'm assuming they want the credit, so they can, like, credit clear a tag. But at that point, you would just play credit. Yeah, I think they realized. Yeah, do it up. Yeah, I thought they were onto something there. I don't know what it would be. They can't buy a bands, yeah. Yeah, that's okay. So, like, the idea is that if we had Greasing the Palm here, could we score out? Not really. We get a Rashida. We also, like, this doesn't interact with tag punishment, our Epiphany ability. Okay. Draw 3, gain 3. We have a single tag punishment card in the whole deck, besides Starlit Knight. So here we actually just want to trash stuff. So we want to trash Miss Bones. We want to trash Debbie. But now we have no money. That should be apparent. We'll put this in server 3. If we get diversioned, it's kind of bad. I don't think we want 2 Bolognas. And we have a Spin Doctor. It's not great to... This is probably fine. We could have Epiphanied there, but then we have to discard 2 cards. But we have no tag punishment. They can honestly float tags. They don't know that. But at least they bottomed out on economy. That was a pretty expensive run. For both of us. At least our ice is rezzed. Huh. Yeah, the whole like daily quest versus regular thing, I don't fully get it. Maybe we're meant to put it in another server. And just like chill behind an Eli. All right. We're both going to be in... I'm going to Epiphany first. Tomorrow's headline, Hedge Fund Maryland. Okay, so we won't draw the tomorrow's headline if we don't want it to. So Maryland and a new remote. Fun. We'll res that, hit that. So now they only have 3 clicks. So we probably are going to shuffle the deck with Spin Doctor. But then Spin Doctor has to draw? Like, this is where we get the Epiphany information. And unfortunately, we have to live with it. DQ is an incentive for the runner to give you an ID counter, I guess. Yeah, it is. But like, I wouldn't. I would just say you're going to trash that at some point, maybe. Maybe I'm wrong. Compared to triple click regolith and they just leave it. Yeah, but then we get all the money fast enough and then we can use the remote server, right? Like I'd rather be had a regolith emptied and push in a remote server. Does the deck have enough ice to support defending multiple remotes? It has more ice than I think we think it does. Oh no, it isn't. We only have 10 ice. We just drew pretty ice heavy. I'm gonna ice up server 6. We can't afford it. Maybe we could click for a credit there. They're not like, we know where 9 points of our agendas are. Well, actually, we know where so many of our points of our agendas are. Bravado R&D. We have to shuffle here. We know the top of the deck. It's wild how good regolith it is. It is genuinely perverse. I'm not shuffling here. There's 6 points out of the deck, or 3 points out of the deck. But we knew there's a tomorrow's headline there, and now we have to have that. They got good money. Oh man, make it stop. Okay. What do we do? They're at very perfectly 2. So if they steal Bologna, they go to 5 and then they don't take a lot of, like they have very few threat windows, which is a bummer. So we can't get money here. Shuffle your agendas away. Yeah, we will. We're going to have to shuffle this Bologna in. I don't think we want to score the tomorrow's headline. I think we just do it. So I think we keep a Bologna. We discard a Bologna. So that puts on 7. Can we... Can't. I think I put this in server 3. So get rid of 1 Bologna. I think we'll get rid of Mess and Chesvo. It feels like a bit more ice. We want another ice here because of Boomerang protection soon enough. Like Boomerang diversion was going to be a problem. Luckily we have Maryland. I think we'll do that. Can make it future Hunter's problem. It's definitely future Hunter's problem. This whole counter represents future Hunter's problems. Right? And like how consistently would we get an ID ability if we were playing NEH versus how many times has Epiphany been? It's just like not every turn. Like it's so easy for it to be every turn. This does not feel like a different enough deck. I would have rather been as Mari. We would have had more than 3 credits. Like, imagine playing as Mari against Ken. You just name event, you win. You win money. That's all you win, though. This is gonna be confusing what this is. In theory, you can score out tomorrow's headline. Oh, they're going for it. This is kind of expensive. Epiphany has saved you 2 points. Yeah, but that's like results oriented, right? Like, it was a random card. It could have not been 2 points. We knew it was 2 points, but it also could have known it's not 2 points and it didn't do anything, right? It's more likely that it wasn't 2 points that saved us. I don't know. Wait, how are they going to get in here to trash the austerity? Did they goof the math up, or are they going to tag me? This seems a bit expensive. Oh, they're taking a tag to take to the MCA? Oh, that's cool, I guess. Could Epiphany have removed the once per turn text? It would be obnoxious. Epiphany did prevent them stealing headline. I know, but it was just a random card, right? Like, you're right. We used our ability to dodge a card, but like, it was as likely that we also knew there was an agenda there. That's worth something. All right, we lost a win condition. That's fine. We want to push the Bologna. The problem is, like, we want a hedge fund here. So this is where, like, we have no use for Epiphany's ability. I think we do install advance Bologna. Like, obviously we could do hedge fund, install Schmal's headline, but I think we install advance Bologna. We want to get them on threat 3. It's legit R&D protection, but you can get the same effect from federal. Yeah, it is legitimately was R&D protection, but yeah, we could have had a federal. It's fine. It's interesting because when SG revealed it, they showed that Epiphany went through a number of different iterations. Not like it hasn't been tested. It was just really hard to this is fine. To get the numbers right. It's a Sansan just hedge and single advance. I don't want to pay 6 to save an advancement on Bologna. That's not a great use of money. Like, paying 6 to save a click only is good if it stays, which it might, but it's not. Yeah, there now. We flooded pretty heavily too. You need to spin, not on that one. They didn't have enough credits. Because they get the dirty laundry after the run, right? Yeah. If they had more money, 100%. Okay, so now Oppo is alive. We have the hedge fund next turn to bounce back. I don't think we need the federal fundraising. It's funny how we don't think we need the federal fundraising. Let the tedium begin? No. We just started it. It's fine. They're struggling to get their economy up. They've played 2 sure gambles, all the dirty laundries, a bravado. They haven't found breakers yet. You aren't paying for the 2 big opposites game? We might. Like, we have to. But the thing is, like, once we oppo them, we literally can't do anything with the tags. Like, it just makes this one copy of Starlit Knight good. This deck plays federal without balanced. Yeah, but a lot of people don't even play balanced coverage. Like, I don't think I've seen balanced coverage in even, you know, any deck that's playing federal. Like, none of the Canal Plus decks are playing it, I don't think. Playing 2 in a turn is, like, you technically lose value off of that, but they have money. Shuffle, yeah. So here we can give them tomorrow's headline and oppo them, but they're on game point. Spend a power counter, of course. Here we could spend a power counter. I think we want to do credit hedge. Like, yeah, we want to send these out. It's fine. Spend a power counter. Daily quest, Bologna ping. I wanted a B. So we know. Wait, what was the order? What's it going to be on top? Hold on, sorry. Because, like, the order on this is also really tricky because we're going to know exactly what's on top of the deck. Top to bottom, daily quest Bologna. So we have to take the ping. I wanted to take the daily quest, but now we know that we're like, do they know? Like, the thing is, like, I don't know if they're going to play around our knowledge of we know the top of the deck. Because I want to put the daily quest down, but then it exposes the Bologna. Will they run through a funhouse? Probably not. They don't run R&D? Yeah, probably not. Especially when we see that. I hope not. D, how's it going, by the way? I picked up Horizons of Spirit Island, and you were incredibly right that, like, these really simple abilities printed, like, with 4 or 5 years of knowledge, they're so good. Ah, we don't have a virus. That's a problem. I don't want to play in the modern meta with Amavirus. Amakua is going to run through most of our stuff. Amakua on 2. Eventually, they'll break this really cheaply. Federal Balance Epiphany played by Lucille was the only time I saw Corp on 70 plus credits. Well, you can trash those cards. Like that's the thing about them. So here we're just gonna have to say that you have to trash this. Arguably, scoring this out means that they want to clear the tag. Horizon's so cool. It's so cool. It's generally like the powers are so cool. I played all of them besides Dragon last night. And like the little mud guy popping up and like spooking people, and the wind one seems so powerful, but they're so simple. It's just like this card just says push 1. But the way that they make them work together, oh, it's so great. Yomi layers, do we play around what they know? It's just like when people play what is that NBN card? Mindscaping. It's like a lot of times they put the gen on top of R&D. If they don't trash this, we win. Or if they steal the Beal, obviously. Imagine we top deck the... Oh, no. They didn't put up a fight. You have to put up a fight this turn. All right. Good game. The Mud Otter is so cool. Thanks for the game. That's always a bit anticlimactic when the win is on the table. Like how many cards did we go through? We went through more than half the deck. We saw 3, 4. Yeah, we shuffled back 2 Bolognas. So maybe you don't think there's one in HQ there. It's really hard to contest this at that point. They bet it for a mid to late game, which like maybe you can take that bet. But they didn't see any Beals. I just assume if you see Sandstone, you have to expect there to be Beals. So you have to either run HQ here or run that. That NBN card, Mindscaping. Yeah. Our ability fired like 3 times and it was okay. Which like, how many times it fired? 3 times? And I had to redo it once. Admittedly, I had to redo it because of the NBN interface. It's also a problem too. You have to draw them off your deck when you play in person and put them back in the same order. I don't like abilities like that. It's really easy for someone to mess that up accidentally. Your ability also lets you find a 3-2 in the R&D. Yes, it allows us to protect a 3-2 that was coming up. But it was fine. It was fine. It was fine. I think my favorite was Sunblight Whirlwind. That's the one, mostly because I think the support was really interesting. I've only played it solo, and it was the one, like, I'm only testing them out versus, like, base game, no adversaries, no anything. This has to be a Smurf, right? Back with the vengeance. And it was the most heavily snowball. Like, it was like the game was over before stage 2. It was so cool. All right, Ken, we're going to ice up HQ. Maryland, fine. I mean, your Federal so late the game, it did not feel representative. The thing is, like, Jeremy, I don't even know if I want Federal in Epiphany, right? Like, it already does the thing we can do, right? It's like doubling down. You do? I don't know. Maybe. I'd rather have Daily Business Show. I think I'd rather have Daily Business Show. Let's try that. If you played in a real tournament, would you take notes to remember the cards? Epiphany, I mean. Yeah, I would. I would also put the cards back on top of the deck slightly crooked, which you're allowed to do. Not like slightly crooked, like fully crooked. You're allowed to do that. Yeah. FF is trash target. Wait, what? A kingdom for a boomerang? Oh, Dan, good game. I always never remember that's your handle, right? Ooh, that's a good start. This is secretly well, not even secretly. It's such a good Ken card. Pay 1. Clicklessly draw 2 cards. Install a card. Epiphany putting cards sideways on deck is mandatory. Stand a chance at all. Yeah. Until you not accidentally knock it over. You surely want Federal and all asset NBN. The problem with Federal is it makes you feel bad about the ID. Yeah. It reminds you. Oh, hand is coming down. We're going to get crushed. What a setup. What a setup here. You get a miss bones down. Oh, we're cooked. You want the runners to trash Federal so you can get an ID counter. Oh man, that's why we should play. But like, we could play Lady Liberty. There's a lot of things that we could play that would be like, you have to trash this. That is a start. I wonder if this is deep dive because but like, why not? Like, Miss Bones, go. This is probably going to live this turn. Double Maryland seems good. I guess FF. Yeah, FF is Federal fundraising. Yeah. Oh yeah, it is. For sure. Oh, they're checking this. With 1 credit here, they're really looking for Rashida or an AR enhanced security. This is good. That's a really good start for them. Like, they're going to check clicklessly, but they need to get their money up here. They played a run event, so if they have a dirty laundry or something like that, we can res both of these easily. They know what they are. They're credit neutral. That's fine. So they know we have a FF. So we can do a Mani FF Spin Doctor and just waste their time. Admittedly, their time is only going to be wasted on one of these because of Hannah. That's really, really good for them. It's weird that Ken can have like 2 motorcycles. Red one does go faster. Yeah, I don't know here. We might have been wanting to draw with Spin Doctor. It's relatively safe behind a Messna chest though. If they do like Boomerang Diversion, we can either res the Messna. We can duck very, very slightly. Amani's really hard for them because they can't really build on the table if we're going to score out. Or even if we want to put an agenda on the table, right? Like Amani's annoying for them. Maybe the motorcycles combined like in a mecha show? Oh, that'd be so cool. She's more like a riding buddy. The riding buddy's in the back there. And I'm pretty sure that same dog. Oh, what a draw. Shows up on Debbie Downtown as well. It's a friend. He's racing another motorcycle. Just ripping through the streets of Rio. So 6 credits. They've landed their ability so good turn after turn. We got a counter. That's sick. But like Dirty Laundry by Hannah Swift. That's such a good open against an acid matchup. Red one goes fast is such a funny piece of pop culture knowledge. I know it comes from orcs, but that's as much as I know. I think I'm happy with them trashing this. I don't think they will. But they can. They did. That's surprising. Just credit then. Oh, they have another click, right? Oh, yeah, see? And this is the thing too, is like, it's actually really bad for us to put multiple things on the table to some extent, because them batch trashing plays around our ability really, really heavily. But if we install one thing a turn, that was a good Spin Doctor draw. So we can oppo them for 2 tags. I think that's fine. The problem is we can't put more on the table. So I think we put Federal on the table and we oppo them for 2. It's nice to get an oppo out with Spin Doctor on the table so we can put it back. But like, that's just annoying enough. And we'll definitely trash Hannah. The thing is like, they'll trash their own Hannah after they pop off. That's good for us. Like, that'll save us clicks in the long run. But Hannah's obviously really good in 2 tags for like a bunch of reasons. I think we could have considered Epiphany there just to see the top of the deck, but I think the Federal Fundraising was a really good target. Warhammer 40k Orc players are some of the most genuine war games I ever met. I don't know what exactly that means, but I don't know much about 40k. I played some of the like video games. Hey Haven, just joined, gonna break out Earthborn Rangers and much late dinner while I watch the stream. How you been enjoying Earthborn Rangers? I'm on like day 7, starting day 7. It's been really cool. I think we're doing well. I think it's really hard to talk about the game because it's kind of like Scarlet Keys, and mind you, it kind of eats Scarlet Keys lunch in terms of like, you can't say where you are because everyone has a different narrative, you know? And like, I think balancing is really difficult because like we got some really good cards from side quests that are kind of like trivializing some of the problems it's presenting. And I feel like somebody else in the same position as us might not have the same experience. I almost wonder if Epiphany could be better with putting a few high priority targets in more ice servers where they get trashed, you find the next one more easily and then just play as more. Yeah. It's been great. I run up to day 6 and 8 on 2 solo games. Oh, super sick. I don't know if I want to play that game solo. Maybe I would. I think 2-handed solo is what I'd play. I wonder if you're playing 2-handed or not. All right, hit the button. Hero power, daily quest, oppo research ping. Okay. So we'll do the daily quest from hand. They have no money, no board state. Or from table, sorry. So we put the Sansa in there. That's a bit unfortunate. I don't think they'll trash this anytime soon. Having this uniced is a bit suspect. We're also going to shuffle the deck. There's some value in that, but the top of the deck is safe. It will be a different card later. I've been playing the new 40k CRPG Rogue Trader. It's buggy as hell, but it's super faithful to lore and the companions are amazing. It's a CRPG? I thought it was like a tactics game. Maybe it's a combination of the two. I know there's a lot of discourse about the quality of it. I suppose in this kind of deck, the ability can help you find your limited ice. Yeah. Yeah, it can. It's kind of feels like, you know, NEH where like you get by with less ice because you have that ability to get reach. Like you get more card velocity. I think that's cool. I think like the cool thing is like you can break R&D lock really easily, which is kind of important for a Sand deck as much as we didn't res the daily quest. Shh. It was actually purposeful. We didn't need the money, and now they inside job what looks like a Rashida. Okay, what we did was sick, but I got sidetracked and did res the daily quest. Sometimes that's correct. Evening, Jeff, how's it going? You forgot to res? You mean we intentionally didn't res? Okay, so now we probably want to res it. We could just do Sand and start scoring off. I think that's fine. We pay 8 credits and go down to 7. I think that's good enough. I would love an Asmari here. Sorry, not Asmari, Amani, but returning the Swift is whatever. I think we will go for it. And we'll present 2 problems on the table at once. We just want to make sure we don't overextend because this puts us down to 6. So if they res the mess in chest mode, if they like diversion us, like there's a chance that they actually recover off of this daily quest. Like this is maybe a bit sketch because if they can like inside job, if they can diversion us, we have to res here and then they can bounce off this. I honestly don't know if this is worth resing here because it's a huge liability if they manage to get some sort of forward momentum. Single-handed, it's been my first LTG like that. It's been low stress enough to run solo. Yeah, low stress is like a really cool way to put the game too. I'm glad you're enjoying. Got him. Kevin. Holy Basada, what a psyop on the DQ, all according to plan. Sometimes it is correct. Like this is not the first time. Okay, hold on. I goofed it, but this is genuinely not the first time. Oh, we can res this here. Hold on. Oh, fuck. Sorry, I resed. That's a hard hold on. I think trading for a bricked siphon is a fine trade. Yeah, but if they brick a siphon and then gain 6 off of this, even more with daily quest. Yeah, it's awkward. I think they wanted to dirty laundry, maybe the Sand. Now they know they can click through this. So this is fine for them. I'm not sure if they wanted to dirty laundry and ice here. Yeah, how do you want to resolve this? Yeah, I don't know. If we like brick a siphon and then they can just go like dirty laundry, run, and they gain like 11 off of this, your choice. I'm cool to play it as it lies. As it lay? Was that the expression? Because now they double click through this trash the daily quest for 1. They have just enough money to trash the daily quest. As it lies. Yeah, that makes more sense. But that means like, is that the same word? Lies? Lies and like lies down is the same as fibs. That was dodgy, right? Like that's likely to be a ping. They got away with a lot there. As it leaves. Soft P. All right. Okay, so you think we could just like score this Beal out, but then we're in a kind of a bad spot. The problem is like, hold on, we got a button. Federal, Maryland. How many times can we hit the button? As many times as we want. Why just once, you know? I deserve this. That's some money. Federal seems nice because we're trying to win off fast events. And we'll put Rashida in there. Right next to the sunset that's trying to swallow her. Res messing to doof and to run DQ3X is okay. They got to read that you can't res both ice. If we go down to 1 credit, there's no ice we're playing an NBN that we can't res. And then they can dirty laundry it and they get a click back. So that's a 6-click run, like a 6 credit run, clickless. Like it gets bad really fast if they can play that line. I think it's a pretty good line too. I don't think it's like avant-garde. I think it's a pretty straightforward lives. It's a pretty straightforward, I think, play. Because on 1 credit, there's no NBA ice that sees play in the format. I can pretty confident, yeah. The whole plan gets cooked if it's ping HQ? Yeah, but they still get a diversion. We go down to 0. Right? Like if they do boomerang diversion. I think they had enough money. If they were only on 1 credit, though. If they were on 3 credits, boomerang diversion. Oh, no, they run out of clicks. Okay. Okay, yeah. Yeah, maybe that's a bit harder. Well, well, well. If it isn't the dreaded 50-50. He had 2 credits? Shit, okay. Fuck. It's okay, we got an Epiphany. That's fine. Cred Boomerang diversion, 1 click left. Yeah, no, 2 clicks left because of Swift. It's still not great. But yeah. This game has a back and forth. We do Rashida first. I count Swift, Boomerang. Oh, because they had 2 credits. Yeah, because they had to click for credit. Excuse me. Yeah, totally. Trash the acid, gain 3, draw 3. Okay, so then we'll do Maryland. This is okay. So we have MC austerity policy. That's not impregnable behind an Eli. Our money's good. Drafter would be really good out here. We have 2 more inside jobs. So move next on R&D. So we're going to get the Epiphany from the top deck. So we'll do Funhouse, MCA, Drafter. Done. We'll draw the Drafter. Oh, right. We don't have to. Great. So we'll do MCA, Drafter, server 8. Res hit seems fine. We know the top of the deck is a Funhouse, so it's safe to single access. I think they are a deep dive deck considering Hannah and Swift. We overextended again. We can't res the message chest, so that's kind of on us. But MC austerity is like pretty good against deep dive. It's reasonable against deep dive. How is NBN but without tag punishment? Yeah, we won greasing the palm. Don't you worry. It's okay. It's not my favorite. We have B1001. We generally do have tag punishment. I actually was pretty hard on that. We have 3 B1001. We have 1 Starlit Knight. B1001 is the tag punishment the deck has. The greasing the palm is whatever. I think 3 influence for greasing the palm when you can play like wage workers, another MC austerity, any sort of that stuff is pretty wild. That's a lot of influence for that card. Way more than you thought it'd be. I also keep getting surprised where I think MC austerity policy will be like a lateral growth. Whoa, twinning? 2 of these and not getting value from it. That's a hard install. And you have the basic action to trash a resource. And we're going to cherish that one. We've used it actually pretty well. There's the palm. I thought there was an oppo somewhere. Oh, we shuffled. Funhouse, ping. So we want a Funhouse on R&D. I think we'll cold the greasing the palm. Done. Draw. Okay. So we're going to hit this once. I think we will Funhouse R&D. It is expensive, obviously. And we'll just put this out on the table. B1001 on the table is good too. This gives us some to duck slightly. The greasing seems awkward to me since it's only good late game, but late game you could have had SSCG. Yeah, we only have 1 in the deck too. I don't see the runner floating 1 tag early game for threat 3 up in particular, so which I want to cheese out in Aries. Yeah, and that's the thing too, is like if they're like super tag me, like then scoring out the what's it called from hand doesn't do anything to Aries. So I agree. That being said, there's like some instances in some NBN matchups where like you take 2 tags or oppo and you can only clear 1 if you're not playing resources. But those are like very narrow. And it's like mostly because they hit your ice and then your ice messes them up. And we don't have that much tag me, like upfront tag me ice besides the 1 Starlit. I totally agree with that. I don't think they're going to be in a situation where they're going to get tagged really heavily and then they have to choose not to clear the tags. So we are going to know, there's Debbie, she's back. The dog's still there. The cool thing is we're going to know if we can find an agenda from the top of the deck with austerity. Ideally here we would want a Bologna. So we can always see the top of the deck with federal fundraising and go from there. This buy bands is probably going to trash something. I wonder where we're going to go. The federal fundraising is like the thing I would be most upset for them to trash. And they're getting their click back with Swift, which is pretty cool. It still does something, but it's pretty cool. Prepaid. Sick. Prepaid can's fine. Is this better than Mystic? It might not be. Hey, no worries. Not at all. Yeah, they've been pretty thoughtful about their play. I don't mind that at all. Gives me more time to talk about Arkham Horror. When's the new set come out? Do we actually know? Yeah, this is the one that I don't want them to trash. That's a bummer. Because this means that we can set up. Does anyone remember what the next card on top of the deck is? I think it's a greasing, right? But there's a chance that we have to like IMC austerity. Like that's the thing is we always just hit the Epiphany first, and then if you find the Bologna, then you hit the austerity policy. That's kind of cool. Is that like you commit to this button first? But here they should batch trash. We're so lucky they didn't find a misbones yet. Gato, we're doing well. We're playing Epiphany. Decklist of the week, and we'll try some other Epiphany stuff today. How you doing? Hold on, I just realized something. What do you get? Place one power counter on itself. We're good. Not a legal charge target. Sabo, Sabo. Lou is Lou. Yeah, those are both animals. What's Essa? Ping greasing. Yeah, but we drew the ping. Ken Express. We should be calling him Express. Some people do. Genuinely, some people call him Express. I've heard it. We'll put the Spin Doctor back. I think we'll put the Oppo back. Sansen's also really good. It's kind of our win condition. I think we need a win condition. I really enjoyed playing Epiphany and Startup CO last year and haven't touched it since. Yeah, you'd think like in CO, sorry, in Startup, like Epiphany would be safe. But there's still, oh, we shuffled too. That's fine. We didn't want the greasing. All right. Oh, sorry. See also Kate and Kid. Never once heard this. We never called Kate Mac either, or G, but I don't think G was in quotes. Just one of these, just one of those. Counter, credit, 6. Thanks. Okay, what do we want to do here? We definitely want to hit the button. So it's Oppo, Research, Sanson, City Grid, Hedge Fund. We want to keep the Oppo until we're on threat. That's going to be much more important. The Sanson City Grid into server 8 puts the eggs into a single basket, but it's a cool basket. Like imagine MC austerity on top of a Sanson. Can you score on multiple agendas in the same turn? It's our only legal target. I mean, like when in Rome. I'd rather put the ping there to play around the inside job. We have a hedge fund coming up, so I can overextend slightly on ice. Oh, that's a bit expensive. That's a bit rich, actually. Because we didn't hit the button yet. I need to remember to hit the button. Those cards' names really don't actually say G. Riley. Oh, shit, you're right. It doesn't, does it? It's just Noise. And then Noise G. Riley is like nerds who know his name. Huh, that's cool. Just like Max just says Max and then expletives in the smaller text. As an Australian who chronically abbreviates names, we always take the shortest route. That's Ken. It's cool. I've actually heard different metas say different things. One of my favorites, which was a local thing, is that Andromeda, a lot of people say Andy, but Andromeda was said with a Quebecois accent. It's so nice. Andromeda. It's like way nicer than Andy. With all due respect to someone who could be called Andy himself. But yeah, I've heard people say Express. Tenma's unlikely. Wizard's just Wizard, yeah. I don't know if we know Wizard's real name. What's her name? Reina Roja is just Reina Roja. We don't know her name. Quetzal as well. It doesn't name. Wizard, no last name. Wizard, Master Gamer. I'm right here, Andy. It's a cool name. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know if there's any like point in time where I would consider was calling myself Andy or a thing that I had to worry about. This drops us down to 3 credits. That's like fine. They lose a credit. You can't lose Chezva, but they lose a credit. It's okay. We get this rezzed. We're not going to advance this, I don't think. Andromeda does sound awesome in Canadian. Yeah. I imagine other French folks say it nicely too. Reina, Roja. Wizard smoking crater. Look, it was our building too, or whatever. Ultimate warrior. Oh man, Flesh and Blood keeps naming heroes in like the most ridiculous way. They just like revealed a new hero today that cares about gold tokens. His name is like Goldbane. It's like a bit much. As an Australian who frequently bucks our trend, I do prefer Andromeda. Andromeda is nice. This will shuffle. So what was on top of the deck? It was Oppo into something. We can choose not to shuffle. We will shuffle. Well, if it isn't what we wanted. So this gives us enough clicks. So this turns on Oppo. They knew it was an upgrade, so strictly this is okay. Technically this is, you don't want to do this if you don't have to. And next turn we'll have enough money if we top rope one of the last 2/3/2s and the Sansan survives and the Maryland survives. There's a couple of things that have to work. I wonder if this Ken's on Hushuk. Ooh, that's a good idea. I think they might be. 2/2/2/2. Yeah, seems reasonable. We have Funhouse B though, which is good. They might not see that coming. And yeah, imagine naming the Frostmage Icelander. Yeah, that one's pretty bad, but that one gets a pass because it's like fun. I don't know. I don't mind Icelander that much, but yeah, there's some really bad ones. Kano, and then also KO, which like, why'd you do that? But Kano is a bit on the nose. Azalea. Fantastic name. Good flower. Just a good name. More people need to be named Azalea. That one's like not cringe. There's a warrior named Olympia, and he's like Greek, which that one is also like surprising. Because I think Olympia is like a really, really macho dude, like the sort of Roman centurion kind of looking thing. But generally like IA names, I think back from that era where maybe this is just a French or like Spanish or Italian showing, but that's generally like a feminine ending to a name, which like, that's kind of neat. Like we named our newest runner Agenda or Paid Ability or Window. I can never get over Flesh and Blood naming a character Chain after a game turn. Yeah, it is Hushuk. Check that shit out. So we're going to stop this in its tracks. They don't have Bologna credits, so like whatever. Not gonna lie, I'm not a huge fan of Goth Girl and BG3 being named Shadowheart. That's not a good name either. All right. So we threw our Sansan into the toilet, but get out of our server. Terminated. Now they have to trash this, which means we'll get an Epiphany trigger. This rude boys out here. God, the art on this is so good. You don't need to top deck it. You can just Epiphany. That's what I meant. I want to top rope it. I want to like send it in through the window. Unfortunately, we have a credit issue. And Debbie is doing her best Miss Bones impersonation. It's doing pretty good. So cruel. Oh, Thomas, you love to see it. You love it when that guy does his thing. We did clear the tag for them. Like they should be thanking us. There's a chance that letting that access through was okay because there's not a lot of targets. Oh, the AR enhanced securities, like they could steal them. It's fine because we gutted our economy. I think we actually get the daily quest in there and just chill. They couldn't have stolen that. The top 30 robes. Yeah, we might have made a mistake. Okay, we'll try and find some tempo on the table. Funhouse, Spin Doctor Rashida. Okay. Ugh. I think it's Spin Doctor. But like, where do we put Rashida now with daily quest like taking up the server? We can res the drafter. This is fine. We might lose daily quest and Sansan. Like this is the eggs in a basket thing. But like in theory, if we have 8 credits, which next turn we'll have 8 credits if we don't have to spend anything. I hope we'll back rip B1001. We might soon. Do they have not Bologna money with Chesva? I stand corrected. They did have Chesva but Bologna money. They probably did that with calculation. Yeah, you can use Chesva for Bologna. I missed that totally. ID trigger Pog. Yeah, like our ID just isn't triggering a lot. Imagine we just named an event. We would just have so much more money so we can actually play the game. How many times is he going to be down on Epiphany this stream? I'll try and keep it. It's just like, hey, it's fine. It's okay. It's like totally fine. I do want to see the lore B1001 and Terminator breaks into your house, hits the power button, and wags his finger and runs away. There's actually like, Morgan talked to me after because I struggled to figure out that this was a Terminator thing, which was really embarrassing. I can't say more, but there's like really cool B1001 lore in the Netrunner universe. I don't know if more is going to come up in the near future or not. We should probably just jam this, right? Drafter Eli. What's the drafter getting us? Tempo. My headcanon is B1001 is Netrunner Moon Knight. Oh, I don't know enough about Moon Knight to know what Moon Knight is, besides a Marvel thing. How good does a non-econ ID have to be compared against econ IDs? Depends what you think econ is, right? Like is Prob an econ ID? Kind of, but it's also like a trap econ ID, right? Is S an econ ID because you draw a card? Technically, yeah. Admittedly, yeah. The card draw on S is like super relevant. Is NEH an econ ID? Yeah, sort of. Card draw is huge. It's either we hold. I think we hold. We could probably jam though. The inside job double click. You wouldn't download it beyond Miami PvP and Debbie's so greedy. It's like they make their money off the runs. Why not? Ah, shit. Okay. So scoring this out has no implication on us winning the game. So we just want to find the winning agenda. Oh, we could have actually looked on the top rope. I guess this was the same thing. But I forgot here we have 8 credits. If Epiphany finds us a Bologna, we win. Sorry, a Beal or Tomorrow's Headline. Essa was so rough without card draw. Oh, I believe it. Oh, Jeff, remind me to talk about that Doomtown thing. Oh, man. I'm going to go for it. We missed. B1001 Operisa, Mess and Chesso. B1001 on the table. It's like kind of weird to do this with this hand. But if we found the 3-pointer. Oh, we have another click left? Well, don't mind me. What if Epiphany was when your turn begins, you may remove one hosted counter instead of clickability? Would that be busted? It would be busted. Diogen mentioned that earlier in the stream. It would have to have text that you can't score at agendas because you would just like put a 3-1 on the table and score it. It's not very fun, is it? And even if that was the case, right? Like, I think it's cool. It's not the problem that it costs a click. It's cool that you can choose when to use it, right? Like that actually makes it much more interesting. And just saying like start a turn is the only time you can use it kind of makes it less interesting. But it would have to be non-agenda. That's unprovable. You don't want to do that. Oh, wait, that's not true. With ASA, you can just say that. And then people be like, okay, trust. Which like, I don't love that. But yeah, it's been working till now. But that's like a big reason why anytime that you search your deck, and it's different because the card's not on the table. If you just keep spamming a B1001 and stuff they have to trash, you get rolled the ID power turn on turn, which isn't nothing. I just don't know if there's anything on the table here they have to trash. The best thing we could get here on the table is a federal fundraising or a Rashida. If they're tracking, they've seen all the federal fundraisings and one Rashida. I wish Epiphany lets you look at the top 4 instead. 3 doesn't feel like enough. Yeah, but 4 is an ugly number. It's bad luck. Needing to farm trashes for counters is actually a bad part about Epiphany, but they gave you once every turn. It would be just NEH efficiently look at deck. Yeah. By that I mean there's nothing bad about Epiphany. When I'm saying it's praise whoever the cold guy that runs Epiphany is. I'm really excited to see what that is. This is cool. So they can access any of our cards and they don't have to commit to. Again, time and time again, very important that you don't say what you're going to access when the panel goes off, because we might flinch here and shuffle with the Spin Doctor. I'm not going to. They also can use the Cheswa to trash the Sands End. That's like the worst part here. How about if they let you DBS one of the cards? Tedious, but very powerful, but tedious. It'd be sick. Yeah. It's cool. It's like weird too. It's like you don't control the message. You just know what the message is. I wonder how that's going to like line up with Epiphany lore. Yeah. The Sands End they're going to take down for 5. That sucks. At least we have a Spin Doctor on the table. They trash the thing. We probably find an Oppo here and then we can do like install sort of. Like we still have to jam in a Bologna. We can't jam a Bologna. Like that's the cool thing about it also with wage workers is that with wage workers, you can jam a Bologna with the wage workers on the table and you can Oppo someone. The problem is like we cannot Oppo and get Bologna on the table in a winning condition. You know what I mean? Like the thing here we can do is we can install Bologna, advance it. Like that's our play. But like, Ponders put them back in any order. Yeah, so just federal fundraising. It's just federal fundraising again. Start turn. Encourages slow games too much, I think. Yeah, that's true. It's almost like it needs wage workers. I do think it needs wage workers. Like, oh man, I just want to install Bologna and then Oppo, but we can't. We could have considered Spin Doctoring back our Saints, and it's the most important card here. I think we just do install Advance. If they steal it, we maybe sweat. But like here we want to Oppo even for 2 tags. But the problem is if we do that, we have no way of winning. Like you need the one of greasing the palm. I mean, you just need a Funhouse remote. It's a bit harder, Jeremy, because they're on like 3 copies of Inside Job. It's a bit trickier than that. That definitely would help. Even ping would like be something. But still, like we have to set all that up. Like here, they just don't have money. Admittedly, they play like 1 Dirty Laundry and they have something, but they don't have breakers. Let me have my Prison Fantasy nerd. Okay, Drago head. So let's see. Like they can easily convert all these credits into real credits, I'm pretty sure. I feel the agenda's safe there. It seems good. Like maybe, imagine they're playing Overclock. That'd be so cool. With Ken. 5 credits clicklessly, make a run. Seems good. Never forget the Drafter Fire can save the Blonet. Yeah, if this fires, we can always like install on top of the Blonet. Or get the money down. No, we would install over the Blonet for sure. You can also potentially spin dock Drafter shenanigans. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Player install additional costs. Sorry, Nato? Oh, if it said player install ignoring additional costs, it would only help the Glacier matchup, and the Glacier matchup is like still you're building something that's super comparable to Ismari, because the more ice you strap onto one server, the less likely they are to be running a lot. What's also really neat is the idea that if you play a bunch of 1-pointers, and like it's worth knowing that NBN has a lot of 1-pointers, and that text is relevant on Epiphany. But nobody's using the Epiphany to build a 1-pointer heavy deck because, well, largely playing a lot of 1-pointers kind of is really rough into a world of Hermes and companions. Like, it's really not great to run a lot of 1-pointers. BM overwrite with Ares so we can off with them, get a counter. It would be sick. Honestly, might not be wrong. They 1-click left here. Yeah, they just don't have money. Install you may res for 1 credit less would be interesting. I think a lot of time resing your assets on your turn is genuinely very bad. There's not a lot of assets that you want to res on your turn, barring things like Regolith. That like them knowing what the asset is, like them having to spend a click to check what it is worth way more than 1 credit. If you're doing it with ice, maybe, but even then, like trading a credit to free expose your ice, I don't know if I'd do it. Oh, jailbreak, sick. Really cool. You know what we're going to do again, right? It's a B1000 deck. Doesn't want to res anything. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we don't res pings. We don't res most stuff. You do generous stuff with Anemone and ping. None of that, all that stuff happens during a run, though. Let's see. None of that works, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, honestly. Get out! He's back. Upon reflection, I do think Epiphany is intended to be an asset spam ID, replacing CTM and soon NH. Yes. I wonder how it will look once those IDs are gone. R+ will still be better. I think so. I think once AR enhanced security goes, it's slightly a tighter race, but even then, it's hard to challenge R+. Arella Sense and chaining works if your money mounts to Hermes Galaxy Brain. Oh man, I haven't considered that, but yeah, it's so hard to play money. Here they have 1 click left, so they can't win. Like the game is over because they can't run anything. He will be back. The only thing they can run is B itself, but anything else they run, we just B it. So they're locked here. But like Epiphany fired 3 times all game. It does change how they play to some extent, but hey, good game. It's a cool Ken deck. We did see some breakers. They threw it out, but their money just didn't like spin up. 8 points. We'll take it. They trashed the Sansan at the right time. Thanks to the game. Come with me if you want to live. Swings his model 1887s, drives a motorcycle into a shopping mall, falls into lava. I don't remember the movie really well. Please ban R+ so I don't have to play it into mulch. How bad's that matchup? Because that's what this weekend's going to be to some extent. I honestly have not played enough R+ or mulch. I haven't been grinding like meta decks. Decklist of the week, Tron, how's it going? Yes, decklist of the week. What we're now going to do is we're just going to cut a couple cards and we're going to change the ID. That's all we're going to do. And we're going to see how it goes. Okay? We're just going to do a little science. Okay? We're just going to cut a couple cards. Watch the Arkham content. Thank you for that. Yo, Coke, how's it going? On a selfish note, I love it if once a month you did an Arkham stream campaign style, just a suggestion. That's going to be coming sooner than later, Coke, but it's going to be on a separate channel. YouTube.com. I think the channel exists. Velma's Diner? Is this it? No? Maybe I don't have the vanity. It might not come up. But we have the URL already. Velma's Fine Diner? Or Velma's Diner. I think it's just Velma's Diner. Apparently there's a show there. Also, just a lot of episodes of Velma coming up there. I'll link it when it's up. There's nothing on the channel, so it's not much you can do. I'm pretty sure it exists, though. No, well, we'll get it when it's up, but it'll be on a different channel for sure. And we're excited to do that at some point. 100% win rate with this deck, and you're still disrespecting Epiphany? It's not so much that we won, it's that we could have won faster, right? It's not like our goal is winning. Our goal is doing a cool thing. Keep an eye on your social media for the announcement. There's no social media. You gotta keep an eye to this channel. I'm so sorry. Okay, so can we duplicate? We'll just add another one. Just for posterity, was a couple handily won games. Yeah, there's 2 Ken games. I don't know if Ken's the worst matchup. That deck had a really good start, but then it just did not transition into a mid game, unfortunately. But they had what they needed to have a really, really good start. I was really scared. Trashing their having the Oppa was reasonable, and we drew well. We flooded a bit in the first game. Okay, R plus sucks. NBN reality plus. So excited to see the rest of the NBN cards in the second half. Me too. I think there's gonna be much more that makes Epiphany make more sense, but I think the narrative, the story behind it is gonna be really, really compelling. Okay, so we're gonna play R plus, so we can play 44 cards. If I'm not mistaken, the sort of like bouncy house, funhouse card decks were on 49 cards. Is Dark Fate also on 49 cards? I had assumed at that point in time people figured out how to not play 49 cards. Like Canal Plus, there's no way it's 49 cards. Reality Plus. It's not about winning, speedrunning these doves. No, that's not speedrunning, but you know. Dark Fate, Canal Plus. Okay. Dark Fate must be 40, yeah, right? Yeah, it's 44. Okay. So they're on single AR enhanced security. It's so wild how that's the choice, but they're on Crypto Crash. It actually is like legitimately quite different. And Wage Workers Crypto Crash makes a lot of sense. Canal, same agenda list. They're also on Crypto Crash. That makes more sense inherently because of the list, but it's different list. Okay, so we're just gonna have to ignore that, unfortunately, and then just try and put this in R plus and just kind of cram it in there. It's not gonna be great. Greasing can't be right. 3 influence, just so much for only 2 credits. Tron, it also is a tag punishment card. Did you forget about that too, just like I did? I agree. 3 influence is way too much for this card. It has been relevant. I don't know what to do with it in our opening hand. Do we play it for 2 credits? It is way too much for a thing that we can probably do in faction. I agree. SGP plus MF. Sad Thug. I don't know algebra. What the heck is that? Use your words, Kyle. Use your words. Self-growth program, market forces. We can't add that. We have to cut cards. We're cutting cards. We're not cutting cards. We're going to play 49 R plus. We're just changing the ID. Okay. We're doing nothing. Bad tag punishment. It's not the best tag punishment. I don't think anyone would argue about that, but Say It Zero also plays like interesting brews. But nobody has challenged us on the fact that we don't have tag punishment yet, because they play around us having tag punishment. Admittedly, in R plus, they're definitely going to play around us having tag punishment because we must have tag punishment. Why else are we playing the thing that says tag on it? We'll find out. My partner's out. I was really worried Nanika would be a bit more feisty, but she is just napping in eye view. Your ID is tag punishment? Yeah. My ID is good tag punishment on this one. We're thinking of putting a cat tree up like right there. Technically the better spot is there, but in the winter months that is okay. So there might be a cat in the distance. It like, she really likes that cat tree. Hey, this is Sid7. This is Jason. You might know Jason from not the art of, but the design of. Ooh, you must be playing it. Of what's it called? Run R&D Draw 5. What is it called? Joyride. I wonder, that's the sort of pressure of having a champ card, is like everyone has to ask you, are you playing it? And then I have to play around that Arson is going to draw 5. Best of luck, have fun. Okay. Opening hand, AR hand security, Funhouse, Maryland. I'm going to keep it. This part sucks. There's no way you end that. Mind you, this is the matchup that's running Hush, which is probably not good for us. They're on 46, but Funhouse, AR hand security, Maryland, yeah, could be worse. It's just that like eventually, I'd actually rather have Mesta Chesto, I think. Well, Mesta Chesto is gonna be res for 5. There's a chance that you do bounce on this one. This one's harder to bounce into because you don't get through it really elegantly with Slap Vandal. That being said, we could do Funhouse B, but we're short on credits. Well, not really, because if they take the tag, we'll be on 3. Yeah, that actually could have been a line, is we could have done Funhouse B 1001. I don't think we're going to be worried about a Hush on turn 1. We're going to be worried about a Hush at some point. Arasana can clear tags largely with just biobands, which is not in every Arasana list. And then the credit engine off of like Aeneas can be pretty annoying. I think even some Arasanas are like playing Hannah. Just because getting a free run. Testing, okay, that might be a bit slower. There's the Baya. It's good to see that out early. We could lose a Beal here. Nice. B1001 Simulchip. Just working on the environmental testing. Gachapon, nice. So we're going to be able to get our AR hand security, and we're going to have a game here for sure. Just going to score that out. We have 3 in the deck. Nice to get that out. They can Gachapon, Simulchip. They could get the 9 credits this turn very easily. So Biobands, Buzzsaw, Daily Cast, Diesel, and testing. Wow, they have to install a Buzzsaw for 3 here? Wait, going off of this is really difficult. They actually can't afford much from their deck. Like on Gachapon, what are you installing here? Like it's, what's the target there? You have to do less than 2. So it's like Simulchip SMC? None of your, oh, you could hit Cubon. That was unlucky. I'm surprised though. I don't think actually there's huge breakpoints. It's not like you want to pay 2 credits. I guess you might to hit environmental testing. But yeah, that was a full whip. So they removed Diesel, environmental testing, daily casts. So here, I think we just put Beal in their mode server B1001. This feels like summer of 2023. Just jamming the Beals behind. Oh, it's not a fun house. Excuse me. I still think we do it. We'll have a window though. Sid probably needs to click for credits here unless there's a daily cast or a creative. Oh, my ear feels weird. That's better. I hope. Yeah, you have to get out of the hole here. You need to install 2 things. SMC would probably be the best. There's the Dirty Laundry. That's really good. Going for the top of R&D here. Arguably, you could hit some sort of tag trap. And then we could take it on environmental testing. That's a disaster. But when you're playing from behind. This is the problem, though. Is like, I don't want to score out Beal. Because it's very expensive. We wouldn't have had our button. That's good. So it's really important we don't put ice on the table we can't afford to res, because that's when you start farming. You want to start farming with Cubon. So we want to avoid doing that. Getting the B1001 out there is kind of interesting. There's no real way that we'll tag them unless they, well, they could trash something. That's fine. But Maryland is kind of holding us afloat. There's a chance like they trash less stuff. Oh, there you go. Hit 9, they're in 14, comfortable. They're back in the game. Just one ugly turn. But we didn't have like the Regolith to jam or the Rashida to jam, which would have been good. Nice. Fundraising. Sick. Love it. This will claws out. Gets us the Epiphany that we wanted. So order doesn't matter. Look at the top 3. Rashida, Ping, Austerity. Okay. So we can do Ping, Rashida behind it. Austerity coming up is also pretty good. Arsanas are sometimes on deep dive. Not more than 2. So we'll do Ping, Rashida. I'll set that up. We'll draw it. Yep. So server 1. Ping we have to be a bit careful about. Top of the deck is, I already forgot. It's an MC Austerity policy. So we'll just get some ice up there. Actually, I don't think we do. If they trash it, we're relatively okay with it. I just don't want to put ice on the table that we can't res, because they can really punish us by like Cuboning it or Pichashaning it. Like we have to be able to res the ice we commit to on the table. The less ice we put down to, the less like Arasana has fired 0 times out of all turns so far. That's fine. So with this Rashida, we'll get the MCA down. It's a bit hard because we're going to be on a lot of cards in hand. We might deny the federal fundraising draw. Well, at least use it to clear the top of R&D. There's a Gauss coming in that respects the ping. Simulchipping the SMC. That's on our turn. So that Lily Pad can fire again on this turn. That's cool. Wait, no, it can't be our turn. It was our turn because the Gauss is at 4. So we have a couple options here. If we res the ping, we lose the ping B1001 combo. Then they just run back. That's not particularly good. So we'll res the Mesnachesso, I think, and see how they break it. Like if they slap vandal it, we're kind of fine with it. We know they have a Buzzsaw. Buzzsaw is not very favorable. Like it's 6 to install, 4 more to break. That's not great for them. Obviously we're gutted on economy. This Maryland's been all day con we've ever played. Man, Daily Quest is so slow when you have Regolith. Like I just want to get a Regolith on the table and I want to empty it. So let's see how they deal with this. It's not the easiest. Fire all. Okay, cool. So they could just bounce off the ping with like Cubon stuff. We know the top of R&D is safe. We have 1 in HQ. They have Bologna credits. Okay. Gauss being at 1 will matter slightly for the 1 Eli. Okay, so the order here actually kind of matters. because the top of the deck is MC Austerity. So we're going to do Rashida first before we shuffle the Maryland in, just because we want the Austerity policy as much as we also want to draw the Maryland. So the ordering here is actually really important. We'll do Rashida for 3. Then we'll do Maryland. Okay. And then we'll fundraising. Sick. Oppo on the top is good as much as we're not threaded up. Maryland and the second B is really good as well. So that will put us on 9 cards in hand. So we can install 3, throw out 1. We'll throw out a Funhouse probably. But we want to hit the Austerity. I think we just need money here. Yeah, that's fine. We don't have to draw. Wait, hold on. That's fine. We just leave the B1001 there. Yeah, cool. All right. Server 1, if they run this, that's fine. And we just need to get money on the table. They should be probably considering running HQ here. They can get a free install with LilyPad, so it actually is like a click compressed run. But we've gone through 14 cards with no filtration, no genuine filtration. So we're expecting to have drawn, you know, a fair few agendas, about 3 agendas here. Because the density of this deck is like 1 in 5. Leech, ooh, that's a really cool card to run centrals. I like that a lot. We know this is the B1001, so let's see if they drop the conduit here. They do. That's kind of surprising. That seems like an overextension possibly. We don't know what's behind the B, but we know it's a B. Oh, we do. It's an Oppo. That's fine. So if they trash the B, it's really bad for them. We don't have a Mavirus. That's something I'd definitely put in the deck. That's fine. Okay. So we'll do Meryl. We could have scored out tomorrow's headline. Also, like with Wage Workers, tomorrow's headline actually trashes a daily cast or something like that. That'd be sick. So mandatory draw. They saw 1 card. Yeah. So Maryland. Look at the top 3. Okay. Okay. Done. We won't draw. Okay. So that goes on the table. What do we put on R&D? I think we put the Mess Chesso. Admittedly, now they break it for 1 credit with Leech. Like, that's not amazing. This is generally annoying. Okay, we'll hit this. I don't think we installed the B1000 this turn. This is a bit awkward. They should start running HQ here, for sure. I don't know if they're on Parisha. A lot of Varsana decks don't actually play Parisha, right? So if we res this Funhouse, we're pretty poor. But we have to. I think Headline Naked would live in this spot. It might, but then we have to commit to scoring it out, which means we don't push Austerity, right? I don't want to take a whole turn to score at a 3-2 that like just gives them. It technically only costs us 1 credit. Maybe. I don't know. I think we just need to push it with Austerity so we can actually trash something like an environmental testing. There's 1 more, an urban. Are they trashing these? Sick. That's basically just as good. This shuffles the deck. I don't want to shuffle the deck. It's Oppo to Oppo. F it. Whatever. You could have not shuffled there for sure. Now they're trashing it again. It's once per turn. They're going to float a tag. We're going to take them on daily cast. Wait, for real? Imagine we greasing the palm. Look at the top 3. Austerity, Bologna, Sansan. They don't have access to Clot. I think the Sansan is actually better. Bologna, Austerity, Sansan. Done. No. So we'll hit this once. Trash this. We have no money. It's fine. Neither do they. And we'll put a B1001 out. Or we can click for credit. We're going to need to click for credit because we want to score out an agenda. Whatever. Whatever. Don't have a lot of money here. We just don't have enough money. They did do good by trashing our Marylands. That seems important. So they have 2 Simul Chips, a Slap Vandal, and a Cubon. Cubon farming the ping is like a problem because we can't even res it. So they actually can just farm that a bit. Yeah, looks like that's what the play is. That's not good for us. We could res B1001 to end the Cubon run. That's not great. But they don't have a lot of clicks. Like, we just have to triple credit next turn. Action, as if we're going to res a rhyme. Be cool. Free money. Jack out, sick. Okay. So start a turn, federal fundraising. If they trash that, like R&D actually is a threat. Look at the top 3 of R&D. Wheat. AR and security, we don't really want to score out. Did they use the click on the Cubon instead of Ari? The Cubon came off of a Gachapon, but they didn't use Ari that turn. You have to remember that they have a tag. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. So we can get the Bologna score next turn if we had more money. The problem is we don't have money. With federal fundraising, sometimes you just like kind of lock yourself, right? Like we're just kind of kicking the issue down the road. That's not great. They should be running HQ, and they should be like flushing out the hand sooner than later. We want 2 cards for this, which is free to res once it's res, which is nice. At least they'll have 2 tags. They have to consider that. With 2 tags, they actually have to worry about tag punishment here. But they probably are going to like start flushing HQ, which is a problem. If that's the case, we can get something in server 1. Eggs in 1 basket kind of feels bad. The issues with the MCA next turn, like we can score at the headline, but that's all we're doing. We scored out for 1 credit. Like maybe we can trash a resource. I'm not sure if I did the math there. But you can do install, credit. Sorry, advance, trash. I think you have enough. Yeah, this is good. They can clear the tag with this. Hey, Cody, how's it going? Cubon on Funhouse. Hopefully you're doing well. Happy New Year, hey? Leech, good counters. Let's see what they hit here. Tomorrow's headline is the one we want. Biobands draws. Austerity policy. They remove the tag. Nice. Clot. Fuck. That's actually really good. That's really good. I forgot about Clot. We saw 2 simul chips they shuffled back. So, one. There's only 2 more simul chips. One's in the bin. Yeah, forgot about that thing. We can't even count on this. Like, this is why Wage Workers is so much better. Fuck. Okay. We have 2 fast advanced pieces in the same server. Be cool. Okay. AR, Bologna, Maryland. We could jam a Bologna if we had slightly more money. Done. No. So there's 4 points on top of the deck. We could purge here, but does not do enough for us. This feels crummy. Admittedly, Epiphany would have been fired, but like Reality Plus also isn't firing. Do I try to click for a click? Maybe, but probably not. We just need money. They might actually check this because it's like the way to play around Clot frustration. They just really need environmental testing to get back into the game, but that Clot is a bit rough. I think we actually popped the MCA and then like jam. Oh, that's really good for them. We could have popped the MCA actually just to jam a Bologna and not score it. Yeah, I think we tempo MCA. Maryland. Look at the top 3, yeah. AR, Federal, Bologna. So they make a credit on the ping, but they still have to figure out how to break this. So I think we jam the Bologna. No. So we can make them lose a click. I think that's fine. In theory, we can install advance this, but then we don't have a lot of money. We need 3 credits, which, well, we need to be able to res the pink for sure. The Maryland should give us credits. This should be free. I'll do this. This looks like a Bologna for sure. If we push the Beal here, in theory, like we could get a big Beal. Not exactly with Sansan. It doesn't really work like that. But this turns on Oppo threat as much as like our economy's been garbage. Again, just empty 1 Regolith and like we solve all of this. I wonder if Daily Quest would have been a fine draw there too. This is where like federal fundraising is actually pushing us backwards, which is annoying. Oh, fuck. They've hushed it. Wait, if they hush this, how are they going to break the Mestnachesso? Oh, they're just going to bounce on it. But like, how are they going to break the Mestnachesso? I think they just want to farm this. So we have to res this so they can't farm it. Yeah, hush is going to get us really bad. Sorry. So we have to do this just so they're not like gaining 2 credits for every click. So they're going to get 1 credit a click. It's the same as clicking for a credit. But I don't know now how they're going to get through the message chest. Like I thought they might have installed from hand. If they trash the Maryland, we will get our money though. If they don't trash the Maryland, we'll get our money. This is strange. This is fine. We'll get our money no matter what. And then we shuffle the top of the deck. The top of the deck isn't particularly good for us. Honestly, jamming tomorrow's headline there would be sick. So we're gonna get our money there. Shuffle that. It's a really good overinstall. Yeah, it's a really good overinstall. The problem is we don't have the clicks to overinstall it. So like we have to overinstall and just leave it there, I think. Because we have B1001s on the table. Federal fundraising, Starlit Night, federal fundraising. Okay. No. Not being able to res this stinks. This sucks. They might be able to still farm it. But yeah, they like trashing when they have an urban art Versailles just coming down is so good. Now they still have to clear the tag, deal with the blown out. We still need money. In theory, they could farm this pretty heavily. They have to still clear the tag and farm this and get in with the blown out and deal with the message chest. So it's asking for a lot, but like we're clearly struggling to gain purchase here. This is not easy. I think we would have got 2 Epiphany triggers, but like also how they play against this versus Epiphany is very different. This does not feel that much better though than the Epiphany list. I think we're drawing money light. But they're respecting us. Like they're also not flying. It's very easy to forget this tag. Hold on. Get out. It cleared the tag, but it also cleared 5 credits. I think that's a good trade. It might not be. I meant to, no, yeah, I'm fine. So we can score this. That helps us with the money. We can now res all our ice. If they go through the funhouse, they have problems. They have to hush this. Some decks are in 2 hush. That'll be an issue. We'll overinstall it with this funhouse. And then we need to jam the austerity on the following turn. Admittedly, we need to purge at some point. And the fact that we don't have a virus kind of stinks. But we need to stop that 2 credits urban art Versailles every turn if we can. Hush is so good in this matchup. Like you keep forgetting how good it is until it absolutely ruins you. And it's so good. They have 2 more simul chips though. And well, at least we're gonna tax them through the simul chips and the clot. I'd also be pretty happy to get the Eli because it's like I guess with leeches is like not terrible. They should be running HQ a lot. Like we're clearly flooded. Now this is so good, right? Like they install this, they get 2 credits, they draw a card. Starlit Night, nice. They've been unlucky there. Surely stacking Funhouse is better than overinstalling. Not necessarily because it gives 2 credits a turn. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Like here, we can't really jam a Bologna because we have a money issue. So hopefully we find a hedge fund here. We have no shuffles too. We haven't found a spin doctor. Like they know they can't just go through that. Maybe they think we're not drawing agendas because of federal fundraising. That actually would make sense. But like there's a chance we can consider jamming the Bologna here, but then the mess and Chesso maybe is an issue. Maybe they worry that this is also like a Managarm and like they over respect the server because this looks good. It isn't, but it looks good. And to break this, it's generally going to be about 3 to 4 credits. And if they let the mess and Chesso fire, maybe we should just push the Bologna here. I think pushing the Bologna here is fine. Yeah, I think pushing the Bologna here makes sense. Yeah, this undo is reasonable because like we know what we're mandatory draw into. He says. Like either they have it or they don't have it. And no matter what, this is gonna be difficult for them. They've played 3 Baya bans, 3 Sure Gamble, 3 Dirty Laundry. I don't know if they're in creative, so they're not gonna have a lot of burst economy. So like they still have to deal with the mess and Chesso, which means either like if they slap Vandal through it, they still cost them 4 credits because they lose the 3 which they need for the Bologna. I don't know if they're on Imp. I don't think they are. So they have to install for 4, which will only be 2, a Buzzsaw, break for 1, and they still have to worry that this is a ping, which is what it looks like. I like playing against Stegodonk so much more than Ares. It feels like the runner gets to choose so much as compared to the Ares. You like playing against Stegodonk more? Surprising. I Stegadunk, unfortunately I think creates unhealthy issues where like you just want to tunnel the same server. But runners mess up into Stegadunk more. Here they should just batch trash if at all. Wait, what happened? Oh, they simulchip to bounce. Okay, cool. So we know they have a Cubon, they'd have a Slap Vandal. There's actually a chance that they get us here. If this was a Managarm, we'd be okay. But there's a chance they do get us here. We probably should have pushed a non-Bologna. Like, we might have wanted to push it tomorrow's headline so we can push a Bologna the following turn. I think that actually could have been correct. Because they can farm this. We were hoping that they thought this was a ping. They trashed the slap. Oh, they trashed it to simulchip. Oh, okay, cool. So now they're going to get through this. The fact that we can't res is the punishment. So maybe we should have waited a turn. This should draw. Oh, right. Right. Yeah. Technically my turn. Cool. Yeah, they trashed the slap bundle because they used simulchip supposedly on our turn, like intentionally on our turn. Unfortunately, the timing was wrong, but that's totally fine. And then they get lily pad on our turn, and then they can get lily pad on their turn. So the slap is trashed. So they're going to try to buzzsaw through this, which does still cost them 4 credits, and they still need Bologna money. But what they can do here is run, install the Cubon, and then get 3, 6, 9, -4. It's credit perfect, if I'm not mistaken. We probably should have pushed a headline or something like that. Would give him a tag so we get some money, and then we can trash Urban and then jam, maybe? It's close. I think it is credit perfect. And at least we're forcing him to do something. If we top deck an oppo, it's useless. This is going to be hard. This is definitely going to be hard. We might have to just never advance the remote server, but if we can't res this outermost message chest. So like now still these message chests are 1 credit to break. Wait, why did I say this is 4 credits? Wait, no, this is 1 credit to break. I thought it's 4 credits with Slap Vandal. Sorry, the install this is 4 credits because they have leech counters. The Slap Vandal is 4 credits, but with leech, the buzzsaw's the 4 credit install. They break this for 1. So no, they have way more money than they need. Hey Ramza, I just bought this game off NSG Online Shop. Has it come in yet? What did you end up getting? I hope you got System Gateway first. Welcome to the game. Can't wait to sleep and play. Yo, System Gateway, if you haven't played Netrunner so far, is like the best learn to play that the game has ever had. It's absolutely fantastic. Also now if you buy, generally their stuff comes in like their own boxes, and it's like, it's nicer even than like when we got NSG stuff for the first time. It's a much nicer product if I'm not mistaken. Not that it wasn't good already. Yeah, we're gonna get hosed here. I think we should have respected this a bit more. Just got it today. SG 2021, and Midnight Sun. We'll get the rest in the next few months. Super cool. Enjoy it. It's really, really good stuff. Okay. Cubon comes down. We can't res this. If we could res it. Oh! We're getting crushed. Their money issues are now solved. They have a click for 4 credit button. We have to overinstall this next turn. They have to do it one more time, though, because they're going to respect Bologna. So they're going to be on 8. They'll go down to 3. This is what I was fearing. Oh, I should have realized with 5 cards left in the stack, they'd have had the buzz on hand. Yeah, I didn't realize they've gone through their deck that hard, considering we have 30 cards left. This will drop them to 3. They can't trash the Saints in. This gives us an Epiphany counter. Not great. Like, we have to find a window to purge. Ping, Beal, fundraising. Okay, so pings are relevant. They're actually very relevant. They've plashed 2 simulchips, so I think we get the ping on the top. They can't really run RD because it'd be 1001s. So we get rid of this. I think, honestly, we get rid of the mess in the chest, so it costs them 1 credit. 1 credit is something, though. Like, they're clicking for credits. Server 1, that goes down to 2. If we put the headline in there, we're close to losing. Because we have to be able to res this. Actually, like Cubon count, all 3 are in the bin, and they only have 1 more simulchip. So if they use the simulchip for the Cubon, it means they're not simulchipping the clot. There's a chance that we don't get punished here. They probably have the 3rd simulchip. Oh no, the 3rd simulchip is out. Let's go. So we're gonna have to purge the clot at some point. Can we MC austerity? We'll have 6 clicks. If there's an agenda on the table, well, then we don't have to purge. But technically, we can purge with austerity for like tempo. Oh man, how many turns will we do? Credit, wage workers, install a card. So many turns. I think Sansan does enough that you don't need austerity, that you'd rather have wage workers. Here, 50-50. They've been really lucky. They could win on this turn. Starlit Knight, they keep hitting that. They might assume that with federal fundraising, we're not drawing agendas, but these runs make sense. Slap Vandal. So they're on 2 slaps. Pretty cool. Come on, just don't hit an agenda here. Starlit Knight. Oh. We're getting lucky. I hope they realize the federal fundraising might be holding. It's not. We've gone through 20 cards. We've seen 3 agendas. You expect about 4. But with federal fundraising, it really changes the math. Because top 3. How does this keep happening? We've seen no shuffle effects, but we're also not drawing. Like, that's kind of on us. This can help us, but it's also really difficult. I don't like this. We're not making plays. We're just like struggling and hoping that we hold on. This doesn't feel great. They have a hush somewhere. Oh, the hush is not coming back unless they're on 2 hush. So we can do an influence check. 4 on Gachapons. They might have another one, which is not really worth playing here. So that's 2-4. Hush is 5. 6, 7, 8 on Biobands. 9 on Leech. 10 on Buzzsaw. I don't know if they could be on Mimic, but we're missing a lot of influence. It's a fundraising. If they trash that, we get 2 credits. Probably don't. It does compound relatively healthily with 2 federal fundraisings. Like, we actually can go deeper. Hey, Nan, I see you're awake. She might come join us. Credit. Daily cast. Nice. Okay, we'll stack the federal fundraisings. So, unless we draw, though, these don't actually do anything. Okay, that's good. Sort of. Not really. Done. Draw. No. No. Resing them actually is not very useful. So they have to worry that this is a virus, right? For the Detroit Pistons of corporations. That's probably a just getting by joke, as much as I don't know. That's a basketball thing, I'm pretty sure. Pistons is a good name. So they're on 4 credits. They're also like climbing. They're Detroit Pistonsing. They play 3 gambles, 3 dirty laundries. They don't think they're on creatives. They don't have Clot. Holy shit, they don't have Clot anymore. You're right. Thank you, Izzy. They don't have Clot anymore. Why did I just check the table? I assumed this red card was Clot. You're right, Clot's gone. So we can win next turn. Wait, could we win that turn? Yeah, I think we could have won that turn. They trashed it to me. Yeah, for sure. Wait, we could have won, right? How much money did we have? That was the problem. 2 credits? No, then we probably can't win. Because on a 2 advanced counter austerity, you'd hit it once, you're down to 2 clicks, you hit it again, and then you're up to 5. Yeah, we could have won because we do install, credit, advance, advance, advance. Yeah, we threw. I think we threw there. I think we had the win. Shit, that feels bad. I'm pretty sure with 2 credits, right? So we have 3 clicks. We hit it. Then we hit it again. We gain 4, we're on 5. We install the agenda, take a credit, advance, advance, advance. Yeah, we could have had it. Shit. All right. We gotta win it back now. 6 points isn't the win? What a roller coaster. Thank you, Cold Lava. He's digging deeper and deeper, but each different layer of this onion makes him feel better about the mistakes he made in the previous layer of the onion. Yeah, you're right. Environmental testing, they have enough targets. They can just recycle the same thing with urban art vernissage, which is cool. And here they have to deal with like ping B1001. Like they have to run this remote server twice. It only costs them 2 credits to run it and leech counters. Gold share for Gold Lava. This is how onions work. So with 4 credits, we actually can't score out the because okay, so we hit this, we go down to 2, we gain 4, 1, 6. Yeah, we're 1 credit short of scoring the Bologna from the top deck. So we have to hold on 1 more turn. I don't think this environmental testing will pay out soon enough, but we have to hold out 1 more damn turn. I think we could consider overinstalling the ping with the slap vandal. Ping is really good though, because they have to break everything, or they bounce, trash the bead, then go back. And then they might not know we have a second B, but they have to just clear the tag. They're just installing cards so that they don't have, get closer to this. There's a chance they don't have enough targets that we actually should trash the slap bundle, but that seems a bit rich. Gotta draw one of these. We'll put the balloon on top, I think. Well, 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 if it isn't us slowly grinding forward. Like the absolute power of the ocean. Slowly pushing the entire... Okay, the ocean doesn't push the continents, I realized. But just like eating into the side of Scotland or like whatever. SMC, not a lot of targets. They're probably just getting that for environmental testing. Draws a card. They have 2 clicks left to either steal the Blown It from the top of the deck, which we put on the top of the deck, admittedly with Conduit, that's okay. They could be on another Hush. So their play is like Hush, Funhouse, Run, but then they don't have enough Blown It credits. But like, we're just sitting here. If they steal every 2-pointer, which has been an HQ since like turn 3, they can win. They have 2 clicks to do it. And we also know that if we take the 2 card draw with like tomorrow's headline tag, we are cooked. Oh, they're going for it? No, they're just installing that. But why wouldn't they run? Something is coming from hand. Oh, they win. No, they don't have enough credits. They have a Hush. Oh, we actually lose. They suddenly have enough credits, and we know at the top of the deck is it's 5 points. They can steal it. Oh my God. We sit here and do nothing. And we don't draw a Spin Doctor. We lose. Well, good game, y'all. That felt terrible. We were not making plays. We were just sitting back there. Close prompt. Yeah, so this doesn't give them a tag, so it can't be 1001. We know there's exactly 5 points on top of the deck. There's no, I'm going to say action. In theory, this could be a Spin Doctor here. They haven't checked this one. I feel like knowing the top of the deck is giving under anxiety. It honestly hurts. Knowing, it's like owning a motorcycle. In some ways, it's nice to know how you're going to die. But in other ways, like, you still got to ride to work. Good game. Ah, shit. Admittedly, just like Kyle at Catnets, there's just all blown on top of the deck. You saw that coming. That one, those were there for quite the while. I think we did overextend into the ping thing. No spin. Not all game. We kept passing the buck down. By the way, HQ, 4 points since like turn 2 or 3. You kept missing them. Can't hide forever. No, we can't. Oh, man. Hopefully I upset everyone who owns a motorcycle. So certain Federal was hiding them. Yeah. Yeah. And then with Conduit, you know, you still get them. That felt bad. I think with Wager because we actually could do something. So far, Epiphany performing better. Yeah. Epiphany so far, 100% win rate. Reality Plus, though. Like, maybe they should ban Epiphany in Sunset to get some testing. Told you to stack Funhouse. If we stacked Funhouse, we could have won. But if we stacked Funhouse, yeah, it was probably the right play. It was whether or not they had 2 Hush or not. I don't think we saw enough influence that 2 Hush kind of made sense because like they're not on Aeneas. They don't seem to be on Miss Bones or anything. Thanks for the game. That stacking 2 Funhouse was an economic issue. But if we stack 2 Funhouse, yeah, they are cooked. For what it's worth, like Epiphany would have fired twice. And it would not have been better. Well, the cool thing about Epiphany is like different than Federal Fundraising is that it actually forces you through your deck. You can choose not to do Epiphany, but there would be some turns that we actually would get a card deeper because we always just like looked at 3, mandatory drew, kept the 2 there. Maybe we just need to be confident enough to draw and then break the R&D lock that we were R&D locking ourselves to find a Spin Doctor. It's a bad situation, but at least force the chip second Hush. Yeah, and we know they didn't have chips. There's a chance that when they didn't have their, like all their chips are gone, is that we should have gone for the second Funhouse. I think there might be some play to that, or just do ping Funhouse. And even if it's ping Funhouse, like they can ping, clear the tag, come back. But that's all we needed. We just need 1 more turn. So we're just slightly too slow. Why didn't you Federal the first time to draw, then get the 3rd card from the bottom of the 2nd Federal? Because the mandatory draw will draw us an agenda usually, right? So the idea is that like we look at 3, there's 2 agendas that we did not want to draw. Maybe we could have because they weren't running HQ that much. So there's 3 agendas, we draw 1 with federal, and then there's 3 cards. And then, yeah, we could put that one on top and mandatory draw that one. Yeah, that's true. I was excited to put 2 federal fundraising down, and I think that was why. But then it actually fired. I was like, I don't know about that. But that's because we chose not to draw the first federal. Yeah, it only works if you draw on the federal, which we didn't. We were mandatory drawing. But if you draw on the federal, then we'll see another card, and then we can reorder that, and then we can hopefully draw out of it. Yeah, that was correct. Yeah. Yeah, we just flood up on cards in hand, which is fine, because we just need to find a spin doctor. I think that was totally right. Yeah, we should have fired both of them. We had a couple turns where we missed that. All right, we'll do it again. Not loving MC austerity, just because the fact that we have to like sit there and survive feels bad. And generally, actually, that is a learning about Epiphany, is like sitting there and surviving is a lot better when you know what the top of the deck is and you can protect it. That being said, we had a federal fundraising on the table since like the whole game, so we weren't that far off. We did know the top of the deck, we just couldn't control it. But that is a weird thing, is like you just have to sit there and survive a bit while you have what's it called, MC austerity, which like doesn't feel great. Man, there's a bunch of like really wild combos with MC austerity and like Oppo. We just haven't had the money to put any of those together. Hey, it's not again. ESSA, okay. So HQ Ice, that's nice. Master Chess was okay. Eli, we'll see if it's Begamot. It's usually Begamot. Funhouse is pretty good into Banhar. I think this hand's fine. I don't know if we get an AR in early. We could put 2 cards on the table. I'm not sure how much ESSA like hits the table. Oppo's cool. We're gonna respect Chestushka. We're gonna ice up HQ. We're gonna do it with an ice that ends the run. And we're gonna take a high variance play here. Not sure what the economy is to start. Ghost Tongue, lost to Begamot. That's probably good. Rip 2, whatever. Hedge Fund Rashida, fine. Hit the Rashida. All right. Shit. Okay, that's fine too. Okay. All right. That's a good start, I think. Should we have not done that play? That was brutal. I may be too used to controlling the message where people don't want to check 2 cards on the table. Because of like cards that haven't existed in rotation in a really long time. We can oppo for 2 tags for like 2 for free. Yeah, okay. Kind of want to put something behind an Eli, but that's not it. All right, it's free. Oh man, that's so rough. I'm surprised at the value that people use this to just like make it a dirty laundry. With Ghost Tongue, it's a lot better. There's the Banhar. Okay, Amani Sanai doesn't do anything yet. Eventually, Amani Sanai can actually be game winning. If you like uninstall, like, what's it called? Marrow. That's kind of fun. They don't have a lot of money. He doesn't have money. So draw, double installs, fine. We might get messed in the chest with Chestushka, actually. If that's the case, we need to get 2 ice res, though. We can't really afford to do that. If this was a funhouse, we'd be pretty happy with B1001. So I think we're just going to do that. The Chestushka can hit pretty hard this turn. Admittedly, there's not the credits there. So maybe we could have got Eli down. Federal fundraising is also really good against sabotage, because we should know the top 2 cards, if not top 1 card of the deck on most turns. All right, I think Daily Quest Funhouse is like a cool thing to do. It's a bit pricey. I don't know how to score out here. They cleared the tags. Nuka's on the table. They have 4 credits. We need a double A's HQ, or Chestushka goes pretty hard here. But we need to res the stuff. We're just like really lacking money here. When you look at like Canal, there's a lot more econ assets, right? Rashido, Federal, Spin Doctor, Wage Workers. Oh, this is not even on Regolith? Oh, there's not even. With B1000, could a Funhouse be good on HQ? It could, but then we'd have to res it, and that's 6 credits. And really, it's only 4 credits when we get it back. But I think we do Funhouse HQ, and then eventually we Funhouse our remote server. I just want the Daily Quest to sit, but I don't know how we make the Daily Quest sit. Like, Daily Quest Eli means that they trade 1 credit and 2 cards. to trash the daily quest. I don't think I love that trade. If we draw, it's a Starlet. That's not great either. If they trash this for 3, honestly, fine. We're not rezzing it, of course. Boomerang, that's okay. Funhouse. So they have to go through this unless they, wait, sorry, if they take the tag, it's just net damage. Okay. So they lost to Sure Gamble. Great. We'll take 2. Continue. Fire all. They take a net damage. They lost the legwork. That's a nice hit. Continue. Continue. Get them. I think that's like a difference between this deck and some of the other like NBN tempo trap decks or like tag decks I played, as much as this isn't it, is like I'm missing things like Planogram, Your Digital Life. Like we just don't have a lot of fluidity of economy on the table. So they know they have to deal with this sooner than later. The Boomerang is stranded, which is kind of cool. Top 3, we Starlet, Federal Funding, Drafter. Drafter's not bad. Everything at the end of the day is just net damage. The Drafter is a cheaper net damage trade than Starlet. Second federal fundraising is good though. But we have no money. Do we ice this guy up? I think we do. This looks like a ping now. Now ping doesn't protect its B1001. I wonder if we can put 1 ice on B1001. Why not? Kind of important. HQ is pretty safe here. Dirty Laundry. Checking archives. Okay. It was 2 randoms, so it's pretty good value. One of these could be a Spin Doctor. There's a Marrow. We know it's a Starlit Knight, which we don't want. I'll do this. This is technically totally safe. So they're at 6 hand size. We can make that worse. So this is going to draw a lot of cards. Federal Fundraising, top 3. Beal, Hedge Fund, Amani. Done. Draw, yeah. Top 3. So Beal, palm. But like, do we want to palm into Beal? No, we don't. I'm greasing the palm for tempo. Done. Draw. Then it would put a Beal on top of the deck, right? Yeah. No, we don't want to do that. So I don't want to leave R&D open. This gives them something they have to do, which is kind of neat. One card in hand. I know, not great. We know what the top card of the deck is, though. It's a Beal, right? Fermenter, Raindrops. Cool. It's a B1001. So if we res this, they get 2 cards. I'm not going to res it. They can trash that for free with the Raindrops. That's the second Raindrops. Card draw is actually really important. So they played 1 Nuka, 2 Raindrops. Federal, tedious. Top 3, ping. B1001 ping is a setup for sure. If we jam Bologna behind an Eli, we don't need another ice there. Amani Sanai ping would be good. Done. They can click through this though. I wonder if they will charge or whether they will respect 2 ice or not. The problem is it takes a couple turns to set it up. Draw a card. Yeah, okay. Look at top 3. AR we want. So it's a Bologna on top. We'll try that. This looks like a Rashida. I don't know if Never Advance you're really scared of besides the 3rd AR, which is like a hard thing to play around. But they don't know what either of these are. Sabotage 2. So we know there's a Bologna on the top of the deck. So no matter what, they're getting a Bologna. That feels bad. Oh, sorry, a Beal. Excuse me. Oh, it's a Finality. Sick. So this is Benhar and R&D. If we res this, we go into 6. Yeah, we'll take 2 damage. So it's a Botchless and then Nuka. So they lost a lot of cards on that. We'll see what the 4 is. They have Bologna credits perfectly. Trash a Spin Doctor. So they don't have Bologna credits. I don't know if you trash a Spin Doctor there. Obviously, you don't want to draw a Spin Doctor. That's good. They get game point. And I think this AR hand security is not worth it. Like, it's not going to help us score out. Right? Like, it doesn't actually help us score out in almost any combination unless we do AR Bologna. So this is probably not right. Oh, hold on. Sorry. Sorry, I forgot to res that. Does that change your thing? We should have res that on the R&D run as well. Excuse me. Okay. So we can return something here. So it's trace 3. So we can return the fermenter, I think is the best case. We can return the marrow, but they actually get a sabotage again, which I don't think we want to do. I put them on 2 hand size, but they just reinstall it. They've already sabotaged this turn, so they probably hold it for a turn, but they definitely need money if blown is going to be important. Amani Sanai is going to fire again, which is kind of cool. We're weak to Chistushka, so Federal, we can set up the top of the deck. They know what we're drawing here, so we just don't have money for Oppo. They also saw blown it, so yeah, they would have won the game if they didn't trash the Spin Doctor. That's a bummer. I think we want it in hand. You technically have money for Oppo? Yeah, but what's the point, right? Like, Oppo doesn't have any impact. Yeah, I was just saying, I was saying during that axis. They might know that we drew this, though. That's rough. Yeah, the game would have been over there. Sending back the Banhart buys a turn without it. Yeah, they just reinstall it, though. They had clicks to reinstall it. They just pay 1. Like, the fermenter is much worse. Because they need Bologna monies. They technically, Banhart is good, but they just pay 1, right? It's clicking 1. We ball. All right, we can score this. It goes into 1 credit. I don't think we can do that. We like just can't do that. Do you see how much I'm in pain? Nothing does anything. Admittedly, Epiphany felt so much better here. During sabotage, we do the trashing, right? Yeah, the corp trashes, so we wouldn't get Epiphany counters. We score this, we can bounce a card. We can bounce the Banhar. Yeah, okay. When in Rome. I just don't want to bounce these because they reinstall him. Oh, yeah, right. Top deck's fine. Actually, no, we should trash the federal fundraising. I forgot that we had that coming up. That's fine. Even like a 2-tag Oppo is reasonable. But at this point, right, like it's only B1001. Yeah, tell me about it. Sure could. Dirty Laundry Archives, this is a known card from us. It's an Oppo. Yeah, that was wrong. I forgot it was Oppo on top. Fermenter is back. Banhart is back. We're on 1 credit. Is there any top deck that gets us? B1001 is good. But we're just now passing that buck down. We should probably draw these agendas. Especially with the B, yeah, we should draw these. Okay, not like that, though. Oh, shit. This is so bad. Federal fundraising is just like showing us how we're going to lose. Oh, man. I do not like this when you don't have, like, you just want to push out. Because, like, they're showing us cards that we can't. Do you know what the worst part is? If I played this in person, you'd be able to read from my face so bad. And I'm sitting there being like, what? So we have to sabotage from hand here. So maybe they respect a Spin Doctor. I don't know what we're meant to be doing. I think the real difference between this deck and Epiphany was that Rashida was hitting previously and now she stopped. We did a really, really risky opening. I don't know why I didn't think Nottingham would check the table. I think you do check the table there. There's no punishment for it unless we Oppo you on turn 1. And we didn't have it. The Oppo would have been okay. We just need money. Like, that's not great. So we know there's 3, 6, 7, 8, 10 points between our hand and the top card of R&D. So, like, we can sabotage Federal and MC Austerity. We can survive 1 sabotage. HQ is the target. That's fine, though. We have B. They might have Hush. Or, yeah, actually, sometimes they have Air Blades. That's a bigger issue for us. Pink is good with B, that's for sure. What? I didn't mean to do that. I need you to stop. I need you to be different. Just like show me a spin doctor. Just stop. I gotta get to stream live for a bit. Knucklepuck, how's it going? It's good. It's good. Turns out Epiphany is sick. Let him cook. The longer we take on this, the harder, the more obvious it's bad. Pink hedge. We have to draw one of these two, which like sabotage two. Done. No. This is giving me PTSD. Yeah, I saw you in that seat. I saw you doing this. So what's cool? We're gonna use this Maryland campaign money to score out our agenda. Beal. Does this deck have spin docks? We've lost one, which admittedly cost the opponent the game on that turn, but does this deck have money? Like, how are we meant to protect? It's obvious because we didn't protect a daily quest. Like, that's on us. I'm gonna tilt. I'm just gonna do a little tilt. The problem here is like we can't sabotage anymore. Oh, we can. We can know at the top of the deck. We're just gonna do a little tilt. We're gonna res something that should have been probably res like 3 years ago, which would give us money. Like, that's on me. Yeah. But like, how do you protect your daily quest into Banhar? Oh, they put that on HQ. They must have an Airblades or something. They're just letting the daily quest happen. Wait, we could have got this daily quest years ago. We'll find a sure gamble. We're gonna see like 5 cards. Light the fire. Respect. Fun SP 1000 is usually protection. I know, but they're probably gonna have Hush or Airblades, right? Like we can't count on it forever. Wee. Okay, more money than we've ever had. Look at the top 3. Be strong. Be strong. Ah. I'm just gonna draw. Like, we need a draw. So there's a agenda on top of the deck. Doesn't win in the game, but that's cool. We have this here. The Rashida will probably deck us out, let's be honest. Do we just score like a little Beal? You think what I'm thinking? Just be a bit of a shithead? Big Beal? You thinking about it? We let this cook. We MC austerity. We put all the advancements on it. Wham! Wait, sabotage 2 on what? How? Why? Why are we getting sabotage 2? Why is something happening? Oh, finality. Thank you. Congratulations, we've lost. J-Nag go. Oh, not necessarily, actually. There's only 2 points there, and they'll get a tag. J-Nag go burr. It's a finality. Yeah, I was looking in the chat here. It doesn't say it for some reason. Trash the top card of the deck and pray. Holy shit. What the hell? It was headlining to Bologna? So we were going to lose anyways. Wage Workers would work wonders. Yeah. There's a reason Wage Workers is in all these decks. It's really good. This austerity is like, I don't like it. What? Wait, we know there's not a spin doctor there because they would have trashed it. This is really bad for us. We need a funhouse off the top deck so absurdly hard. They saw 4 cards. They didn't trash a spin doctor. So we're just going to have to sit here with 5 points. Everyone be cool. Maryland can't shuffle yet. We can overinstall in Maryland to shuffle. That is a missed opportunity a lot of times. Keep the poker face. Overlay Maryland, believe. Yeah, I know. It's the only option we have is overlay Maryland, believe. So I don't want to. I should draw these cards to get them out of the deck. Simply top deck funhouse. It would be good, but then they just trash the V1001, and then they run back. Like, it's not amazing. I don't know what we're meant to do. I think we have to just draw as deep as possible. Imagine we had a wage workers, we triple installed here. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Decking out is a real concern though, is it? Yeah, it is a real concern. Like, maybe that'll buy us a turn? Like, they have to mess it up really bad. They also have 4 clicks. 50 points and 20 points in archives. We're over advancing Beal. We will. We have to. It's the only way we win. Like, we still have to win. Just believe in yourself. There's no way this wins. I think this would have to be really bad to win. They didn't put Banhart anywhere. We can draw 2 off this. We probably shan't. Hold on. We survived another turn, though. We genuinely survived another turn. You only get 6-point Beal? Yeah. But, like, they have Lamb and money, and we have 2 barriers here. If we draw 2, we deck out. I think the federal fundraising is going to get us there. They're going tag me. Good. We can use our tag punishment. Greasing the bomb. Activate. Stop. Sure hope they don't run HQ. Oh, they have a running hot. No, last click was running hot. Stop it. No, wait, they run that B1001. They run the Funhouse. This is why we had to play second B1001. Clear the tag, AR enhanced security, but of course, spin a doctor. Load daily quest. Fuck off. What? Just so we all are on the same page. There's 2 spin doctors in there, right? Oh my god. I hate looking at the top 3 of the cards of the deck. It's the worst thing possible. The worst thing is knowing how you're going to lose. Funhouse on Beal and Senda, yeah, but they run archives, we lose. The deck only has 1 spin? No, don't scare me. I'm not checking, JM. I'm not checking. There's no way. I don't want the Funhouse. Double Funhouse, like, maybe they respect it with Lamb. They don't really have to respect much, Banhart Lamb. If we give him 4 tags, it, like, doesn't change anything. We actually want something expensive. Like, we want another B. But that's our final B. Whatever. It's the best card. Draw 1? No. Did they trash? What was their turn? Did they trash something? Yeah, they did. Where is Greasing the Palm? We genuinely could consider winning off of Greasing the Palm. This gets us to only 4 points, though. Well, maybe not. I think we do credit Oppo. When I was protecting B works, no, B can't protect itself. Right? Or it would be absurd. I mean, top of the deck, I don't care. They take another core damage with bouncing Marrow kill, only if they end their turn. They only die to negative hand size when they end their turn. Missed that, thanks? Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, if B protected itself, it would be pretty absurd, right? Oh boy, the jig is so up. Gain 2, draw 2. So draw 2 is actually 2 cards, but then like we will lose the game. Like, are the bottom 2 cards of R&D? There's 2 spin doctors in there. We're gonna see our whole damn deck with federal fundraising. Like, we just can't win soon enough. Like, I don't know what to do. We're so cornered. We're just like losing really, really painfully slowly. I I guess we'll gain 2. Draw 2 seems like we'll just lose. If protected itself, it wouldn't just be absurd. It would be unbreakable. 2 funhouses and even unbreakable server. There's ways to cheat around funhouse, but yeah, fundamentally it would be pretty messed up. I don't know why they're not running HQ. The agendas have to be somewhere. With 5 tags, if we had like any NBN tag punishment, we actually could win the game. Like psychographics would not win the game. Shipment would win the game. Do you want to see your whole deck? Yeah, okay. I actually want to see my whole deck, federal fundraising. Show me my whole deck. Show me 2 spin doctors in the San City grid. Literally the win conditions and how not to lose. The problem is like actually as of this is the last turn we can possibly spin doctor, right? Maryland prevents the deck out. We don't have any. But they can trash it, right? Like, we can't draw off of the federal or we lose the game with spin doctor. No. 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 I think they know where the agendas are. Yeah, no matter what we do, if we spin doctor the agendas, we lose. So like, it's like protect B1001. That's not going to happen. So the best we can do is have tag punch. I miss why there's no concession here. We generally try not to concede. We could have conceded a long time ago. Okay, so thinking. We would have every access to every deck card possible. So how would they think they could lose here? If we had tag punishment, we self-growth programmed these, it'd be fine because they just reinstalled them in sabotage. They've played 2 finalities. They played a Chistushka. So their deck has like 2 more Chistushkas in it. That's a problem. That's like just straight up a problem. Trashing the B1001 gives us 2 credits, but that's all it gives us. So we need a third B1001. So if we do spin doctor draw off the spin doctor, shuffle back 2 B1001s, that puts us nowhere because there's still points in archives and we have to draw. So if we do austerity, we can go down to 2 clicks, hit it again, we go up to 5 clicks. We can score a 3-point Beal. That puts us on 4. It's the most points we can lose with. Let's say that, right? Could we bounce something of value? No. Arguably? No. Maybe. Whatever. It gives them one last fewer click. That seems fine. Nice. Win from letting them steal Beal and Amani the Marrow. It only wins if they end their turn. You only die to negative hand size when you end your turn, so they would win the game. They didn't boost into this. Oh, Marrow. They did boost into it. This is Marrow. I was like, why are you letting me choose something? It's because you're Marrow. We're getting to the point where we actually can't win because of Marrow. Oh, man. Oh, this is so bad. What was that? A Katurga? No. What's happening? Why does it not say why as it's sabotaging? Can we just give it the ability to spin now they can win off archives? We can't spin. If we spin, we do lose anyway. We're cooked no matter what. Thank you. Got it. Yeah, the light the firing B1001. We'll just mill out. Yeah, like we could have got the spin doctor down and drawn 2 and shuffled back the agendas, but then they just run R&D. Like there's no winning line. Good game. Yeah, we were really, really cooked. Maybe we could have pushed out like with the daily quest faster. I thought they would have checked it with Benhar. I think they would have. Thanks for the game. Our opening, we absolutely like chucked down the stairs. But that's not good. Epiphany did generally feel better. What's with that? Is it because we played against specifically 2 Kens? That did not feel good. Yeah, there's no way back out of that. Admittedly, if we had real tag punishment, right? Like meat damage tag punishment, that would be a bit surprising. They'd actually have seen very little influence for what it's worth. Like they saw greasing the palm, that's it. So influence was maybe a concern. Oh, and they saw a drafter. But if we did market forces, that's arguably a way out because they don't have money and they can't steal the Bologna. If they steal the 2-pointer, then we could consider bouncing the Marrow and it still gets dicey there. If we had shipment from the Disburst, which is pretty common, we actually could have fast advanced out. Yeah, end of line is like not super common in Reality Plus because it's for influence and like the infaction tag punishment isn't as like, you know, It's a bit less brusque, but it's pretty effective. Are we going back to Epiphany? Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the Epiphany deck to make it closer to what I expected it to be more like. Psychographic Shipment, End of Line, anything really? Yeah, I think you don't really see a lot of psychographics. It's unfortunate that whole era has died, but it's Shipment for the Disperse gets so much more achievable. So I'm going to cut the daily quest. I'm going to get the austerity policies. I'm going to put in wage workers, as many as we can. I think it's 3. Cool. And then I'm going to put in Regulus, as many as we can. I think 3. I like money. I know say it said that you could consider cutting the Maryland. I'm not sure for what. I think I would end up cutting the Greasing the Palm pretty quickly. Yeah. So we have influence. Shipman's extra good with crypto. The score has its own punishment. Yes. That's another thing too, is like, I think because we're on Greasing the Palm, like the deck is encouraged to play Project Beal. I don't think we should. Like, I think I'd rather play crypto here, especially with wage workers. But we're basically just building like Canal Plus and then putting into a worse ID for what it's trying to do. But like this might be better. Like wage workers, they have to trash, right? For what it's worth, like Crypto Crash is actually a pretty sick target with MCA as well, right? Like that, I'd rather score that than a Beal, because that's also a big thing. It's like scoring Beals doesn't feel good. Like it's just a 3-2 that doesn't do anything. Like, there's a reason that a lot of the top NBN decks aren't playing it. Which means that we probably end up cutting the, what's it called? The Sansan as well. Blank 3-2s are like, they were kind of okay in Netrunner back in the day where you could fast advance fast enough for that to matter. But like, yeah, I don't know. Blank 3-2s don't feel great. So we have some influence. We could consider playing, we have not too many cards yet. Well, we could play Ablative Barrier for 2 influence. That's like a fun one to get a B1001 back on the table. That's kind of cool. We're only on 2 ping, which is kind of surprising considering like the ping into the B1001 as a 3 of is pretty strong. We're at 20 agenda points, Bologna headline, hedge fund oppo. MC is fine as long as you got a single tag punishment. You think? Feels lackluster if you aren't explicitly trying to over-advance it. Would rather play 4-2 that does something on blank 3-2. Yes. And double FC into oppo is funny enough to be worth the jank. Yeah. We just haven't had the money though to like feel good about oppoing. I honestly think like we could maybe cut an Amani, but it's pretty good. Planogram, the problem is like we have a slots issue and an influence issue. Like we need to cut cards. I would consider cutting a hedge fund from a planogram though. I don't think that's a terrible trade. It gives us some flexibility. It's a bit weird drawing 3 cards when you're Epiphany. That's kind of true. Maybe that's wrong. Mavirus, oh, Mavirus is huge. Yeah, I like that a lot. These decks aren't running Mavirus, right? Meta is slightly different. Should we take a Ablative Barrier over second drafter? I don't know. Maybe? The drafters have been annoying. Ablative is because of B1001. Eli could be wraparound. Easily, yeah. And I think wraparound's actually pretty good right now. I wonder if another ping is worth it though, with like we could just do more pings and say that ping B1001 is worth the effort, right? So I think we want to play, we have a lot of influence. What's a cool 3 influence card for asset spam? Tempo. This is 4 influence, right? Skunk? Ah, yes. A man of taste. Mitosis, single, seamless. Seamless for 2. Yo, Z, how's it going? Bladderwort only makes sense when you play a lot of them. But I like Managarm a lot. It like adds another hurdle for them to do like Funhouse, Managarm, B1001 Drafter. I feel like we have too little ice. You're on more than 10, right? You're on much more than 10. You're on 12. You're on 2 pings though. Interesting. I don't like the federal fundraisings. Well, that solved the deck. Hold on. I'm going to cut all the federal fundraising. Is that messed up to cut federal funding in Epiphany? But we need to play another ice here. So Funhouse message Chester, like, do we play the one cheeky Hydra that hopefully we res? I think so. I think Hydra is like, it's good to have that win condition. If we res this for 5, we kind of win. Let's try that. I think Seamless also makes sense. FF is a bad card, too easy to trash. I think FF is a really, really good card. I think it might be overkill in Epiphany, but FF is one of the best NBN cards in the set. Easy to trash is fine in Epiphany, right? Like, have you noticed that nobody's trashed your federal fundraising for what it's worth? In any game? Well, maybe one game. I think they should, but it's harder with the AR enhanced. Hey, it's Arknar. Yes, love it. I need to know if there's some Atea spice coming down the pipeline. 100% there has to be Atea spice. There is no way you're not going to get cool Atea tricks in the next half of the set. Thanks, you too. You're going to get some like dangerous Amazon animals. You're going to get something click. You're going to get some economy. You're going to get Jinteki Ice. It's going to be sick. And nobody has played well against you. The card shouldn't stick around. It depends on the matchup, right? Like, I think arguably it could have been trashed. For what it's worth, it did not help us. Okay, as Boomerang Diversion as a start is pretty bad. This hand's not great. That's a lot better. Funhouse HQ is pretty good against Criminal. It's also a remote ice, but we play 3 of them. I think we can just ice HQ, jam out some Marilinos. We could also put the Regolith on the table. And like, that's more likely to be trashed on site. I think we can consider doing this. As could drop a Miss Bones turn 1, and that could be like kind of bad for us. This is a bit of a like maybe less aggressive line. Really digging Federal and Prov? Yo, Oddball, how's it going? I think Federal's so good in every NBN deck. It's just like Epiphany seems like maybe, you know, you've baked the potato 2 times, which people do double bake potatoes, but how many times do you gotta bake the thing? I know an excellent to solve out. Hear me? Cyber Sand Harvester. With all the ice we're resin. Double Maryland's kind of sweet. It's not bad. It's definitely not bad, but there's a chance that Az doesn't run here early. Like, unless it's a Miss Bones drop. Can you trash this to give us an Epiphany? No. I don't think you want to trash 1 thing a turn. You trash 2 things a turn, if anything. Which, like, kind of makes it bad to jam 2 things. I'm fine with this. There's no good ways for us de-res a ping. But we would de-res a ping in this deck if we could. That de-res HB card is like 2 influence, right? That's not anything. Okay, so hit a B on the table, get a Managarm behind a Funhouse. Kind of the game plan. Not that different than Dark Fate, but a better ID ability. 49 cards. Info Bounty, that's really cool. Divert is 1 influence? Sick. Okay, we want to ice up R&D. We didn't see a Boomerang this turn. B1001 AR in the remote server. Maryland Naked is totally fine. We have more money than common sense here. We haven't got an Epiphany trigger, but it does change how they play. They could Boomerang this. That's fine. We have B. Then the last click is either Rashida or Maryland. I think we want to go for the Maryland because we're going to score out the AR hand security and be holding like way too many cards in hand. So this is fine. We probably shouldn't have put this out. Like, we should put this in, then pause and put these out. There's something to be read about. We stalled on 3. Like, 3 seemed like a weird one. Maybe misdirection's good. You'd have to discard 1. Who cares? Yeah, you're probably right. We definitely don't need the Maryland here. Hannah, that's good for 1 credit. Yeah, you're probably right. We can discard 1. We don't need the Regolith. Yeah. Yeah, we need to follow up the Ares score. You're totally right. Because otherwise we just score the Ares and do nothing. If we do Ares into Rashida, we're doing something. This is like something that you probably want to consider trashing. This is probably Epiphany doing work, let's be honest. But like, this is the sort of thing that you see and you'd be like, this is not going to be a problem. And then obviously it's a problem at some point. But they know where it is. God, the art on this is so fun. I'm glad Marisha is doing card art. Archives is the mark, so not really worth... A click for 2 credits is like totally fine. But ideally, this like is the red team Chesva sort of thing. I wonder if instead of red team, you just played an info bounty. So they didn't see what this is. Actually, I don't think we want to res it. I think we want them to like guess. Also, playing around Oppo is totally relevant. Yeah, so you could be like, Andre, why didn't you res the Maryland? But genuinely keeping an unresed card, like the value on this Maryland is pretty minimal. But now they have to like be scared there's a second B1001. We would have resed an Amani probably. There's some value of keeping unresed cards for sure. They'll probably just check it with Hannah though, so maybe that's marginal. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, maybe that was a bit of a... He was drinking real strong punch there, but without Hannah, for sure, I don't think we res that. The thing now is that they hit a Funhouse, they'll definitely bounce. That's a good thing of them knowing the B1001 is there. It's like, admittedly, if they do Boomerang this, we can still get them. 3 credit access. We don't know what it is. Epiphany hasn't fired once. The card they access, like when you access on a Maryland turn, sometimes it's pretty rough, right? Because you don't even lock the deck. I think I like Epiphany more than NEH. It might not be better, but the ability is super interesting. But you know how NEH would have fired every single turn this game and had 17 influence, and this has not fired once? I hear you, though. I'm with you. I'm with you. I was so excited when Epiphany came out, but it's just like, I don't know. You don't have as many options until you do. Especially with the Ares scored. Like now with Ares scored, I think our ability is going to fire like 3 times when they score 3 agendas. We will shuffle. We will shuffle. Cool. Starlight for R&D is totally fine. Rashid in the remote server is like a turn too slow. Well, I guess we can draw once. We want double ice on the remote server? I definitely think we want to ice up R&D. I think if they like spend something important on the Rashida, like even ping into B1001 eats a boomerang charge. Or like a boomerang from the deck, which is kind of important. Oh, Bachlan, cool. It hasn't fired once because it might have changed the runner's play. We'll just never know. I'd argue the AR enhanced security is changing their play more than anything else. But you're right. But like the same thing is like if you have an Oppa, would they just respect their board state the same way? Yeah, probably. They can do that during a run. I think they want to do that during that run. I don't know if they're missing a hardware here. It's technically a credit more expensive, but like your clicks are generally worth a credit when you're on 15 credits. That's like the masterwork trick. Maybe they'll play something else here. But yeah, it looks like we might swallow a boomerang here. So we wait for action because they have masterwork priority. Then we wait for them to break with boomerang. They might not. Like in theory, the right thing to do here is bounce off of this, clear the tag, and not break. If they break, we technically clear their tag for them, but we clear their boomerang. They know this is here. This is a really easy thing to goof up. But they shouldn't use the boomerang here. They should just end the run. Yeah, there you go. Good. They shouldn't swallow boomerang. They just let the ping end the run and move the tag. I think a lot of people would mess that up. They didn't, which is good. But now they have to clear the tag and not trash the B1001. Now they just clear the tag. We wasted their time. It's okay. Hey, Maddie. No, I'm still streaming. I just came home. Nana got her food. Okay, she pretends she didn't. Now they're trashing it. Well, this can't be right. They must have forgot the AR enhanced security here. They forgot the AR enhanced security. So Epiphany, AR. Yeah, that's a mistake. Rashida puts us to 7 cards. We should have res this. They knew what it was. We forgot that. Hannah. Yeah, but they need clicks for Hannah. So that was a mistake. We're going to trash both their stuff. The question is whether we Rashida up to 7 and trash things. We're going to do trash, and install. Yeah, that's totally fine. We should have got this Rashida turns ago, maybe. So we'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of that. And then we'll just install a card here. Imagine we wage workers. Yeah, that feels bad. Then we oppo them for 2 more tags. There's nothing really we want on the table here, so why not? Not that we have tag punishment. Rip wage workers. Click. I know we also got the triple wage workers. But like this is kind of I think we do oppo them because we have B1001. We don't need that. Here we just need more ice, right? We just need 1 good piece of ice. We get so next turn we'll wage workers, spin doctor, draw. See what we get. We'll install something with wage workers and probably put it in server 3, put another ice on server 3. That should strand the boomerang, right? Like if they can't use the boomerang too, they have to probably overinstall it. Because they need inside job really to contest them with 3 tags, right? Not that we aren't Epiphany. Because that's also a problem. Is like Epiphany it's not an install action, it's an Epiphany action. They're cleaning the tags, that's fine. We're okay with that. We spent very little, they spent most of a turn. Okay. Did you not get an R+ trigger on the oppo? No, we're playing a better idea, Z. We got a power counter. In theory, we should start with a spin doctor. Oh, Lamau? Yeah, we went back. R+ sucks. We'll install this, we'll res it. We got Ares, that's enough, right? I guess we need the Rashida here, so we'll install the Rashida. They still have a single tag. We'll just put another ice there. Mess and Chesto seems pretty chunky. It's a good face check. With the Rashida, we should be able to get a wage workers. They could consider trashing the wage workers here, but again, it's like a 7 credit swing. Oh, Lamau, yeah, I know. And now every time that Rashida fires, like you're not that interested in Epiphanying. Maybe we should still Epiphany to be like, the cards in our hand are okay, but we'd rather get like a 4-2 out the top of the deck. Like a Crypto Crash here would be disgusting. We also do want to be 1001 on the table sooner than later because of the fun houses and Starlit Nights, especially because like Boomerang Diversion is technically a line. It's not that great. NFL is good for them. I didn't realize it was already that late. I'm actually having like a relatively okay time losing slowly as federal fundraising decks. Class act. Nice, expensive. Slows them down. Good. We'll also do our own class act. Ours gives us money though. Okay, Managarm. Okay, here, this is where it's really awkward. Like here we do a triple install and then last click we have to Epiphany because Epiphany is not any of the other abilities. So we'll do server 3, new remote. I think we'll get another B1001 down for safety. Not that it's super relevant on the remote server. Maybe just a ping on server 3 is fine. Then we'll get a click back. And then here we want to find, you ready? From the top rope, we're going to go find a Crypto Crash. Shit. Hydra AR. I guess we're scoring another AR. It technically helps us win because then we can score Crypto 5-3. And it's not bad. Like with Wage Workers, scoring out of 3-1 doesn't feel as bad as it normally does. Oh, imagine we got a Crypto there though. That'd be so good. Like we want to get to threat 3 as soon as possible. We also know we have an Amani coming down. We can't do like triple. Oh, we can do triple advance install. Oh my, I've never done that. Yeah, Kevin, you're also saying it. I just realized that. We could do triple advance, install Amani, then score the AR enhanced security. I've never considered that. But that is actually like a probably not uncommon line in a bunch of the NBN decks. Yeah, you get the Amani trigger at least. I did not consider that. That's super cool. We just don't want to shuffle Maryland though. Was Amani the next card? We're not going to shuffle Maryland. It's okay. Sometimes the things you do. For what it's worth, Funhouse B1001 is beat by no free lunch because it's not a win res. If it's a ping, you can beat it. When it's not a ping, you can't beat it. Oh, don't trash the Wage Workers. That would be rude. I think they're trying to trash our stuff now. If they trash the Wage Workers, we'll shuffle the Maryland. Excuse me. Definitely, excuse me. So sorry. Yeah, I think that's the problem is that I don't know what to do with Daily Quest. I love jamming stuff in the remote server, and just sitting there with the Daily Quest on the remote server means we have to build a second remote server. And that does not gel with me. I know that we drew the Regolith and didn't need that, and that's good. That seems important. They're on no credits, though. If we like bounce the Kurapira to hand, they're real upset. It's interesting how giving the Corp 1 action is really good, but the runner version sees almost no play. What is the runner version? I'd argue cards like Beth saw pretty consistent play, but it was on everything. Right, like that did so much for you in so many reasons. But most runner cards that give you a click do see play. If you mean the one that does core damage, 2 core damage, yeah, that's the reason. It's because it does 2 core damage and it doesn't fire the turn it comes down. Right? Like Wage Workers, the numbers on it are messed up and it fires the turn it comes down. And specifically Corpse getting a 4th click means you can score out agendas in different patterns. Like for runners, there's certain things that matter, like deep dive. But Hannah sees consistent play, right? No. Basilar something? Yeah, that one's really expensive though. Yeah, that's the one. But it's 2 core damage. That's like way too much. So we'll pay 1 here to make a 4. We'll return to Kurapira to hand. We're not that weak to Kurapira. We can return to Miss Bones to hand, but she's only 1 credit of damage. Losing the class act is also kind of annoying, but I guess we'll do that. With Miss Bones can't be worth that much with 2 AR on the table. Next turn, we'll hopefully draw an agenda. We know the next card on the deck. I do not know what it is. But we should know what it is. Because Epiphany saw AR. And then the other 2. One of them being Amani. Amani's going down. Hydra? Oh yeah, thank you, Oddball. It was a Hydra. That's actually pretty reasonable res. We have to worry about money to some extent. Maybe we're a bit overzealous throwing out the Regolith, but seems good. Epiphany, AR, AR. 2 tags. Clear one of them. Here they should batch trash. Like, yeah, now they bring the wage workers. Did you hear the news about Sleep No More? David, no, I'm not at all plugged into Sleep No More. What's the news? How you doing, by the way? I know they've also done other, like, entertainment stuff. I have no idea what that company's up to. I forgot we have a Managram here. We want to jam anything. It's closing on February 25th? Like, the company's closing or just the show? That, like, one show in New York? I don't think I fully explained my Sleep No More story the last time it came up at Halloween. Like, my set of skills. I've said it before on the channel, but it's... Sleep No More is so cool. That's probably tickets are probably very, very expensive right now. You could have B1001 saved wage workers. Yes, but it clears tags for them. Like, it just basically costs them a click. They basically spend a click to clear a tag for free. It's not particularly great. And it shows them the wave of B1001. Right? Like, they basically spend a click to clear a tag. For no credits. Just a New York City show. The Shanghai show is still going. The Punch Drunk, the company's fine. They're just closing the show. Ah, that's probably been around for like 20 years, though. 15 years, maybe? Good for them. I wonder if they're going to do something else in that space. That's probably one of the most long-running shows. 13 years. Yeah, wow. Check that out. All right. Well, we can still triple install with wage workers. We might open with the Spin Doctor. The Hydro's not going to really help us here. We don't need to trash either of these. There's some reason to trash Class Act. It's not really a priority. Okay. We'll do this. So we're going to put back 2 B1001s. Genuinely, yeah, 2 B1001s. Okay, so we'll start with this one. It'll be our first install. Hopefully we find something for the remote server. Not really. Second wage workers will be pretty annoying for them. We really don't have a great install here. So we'll do a third install. And then we'll Epiphany. Where are our agendas? This is like anti-ESSA. Amani, Maryland campaign B1001. I also want to like shuffle through these with Spin Doctors. This is the curse of knowledge, right? Like now we know that we're going to draw into. By draw into, it means draw nothing. So we should Spin Doctor proactively. Maybe that incentivizes some good play. I guess I'll get an econ card on the table. Spending a click to get a card from the top of your deck onto the table for a click is very different than Prognostic Q Loop, though, but technically that's a lot of value. Card going from 3 down into your hand onto the table for a click is a lot of value. Unfortunately, I'm not impressed. You could overinstall a Maryland? Yeah, that's probably better. You're right. We could res this Maryland, overinstall it. Okay, they trashed a Boomy. This Boomy's going to go in the fun house. They're going to go for subpar diversion here. I got context back. My left eye has been like really bothering me. Oh, they're going R&D. Why? They're also not using Masterwork. Sargnar missed it. There was a Masterwork trigger that was missed. Just credit. Okay. So start a turn. We have an Amani. I think we will shuffle. But then we have to draw, right? Like we have no wage workers trigger here. So I think we just draw through it. I think we trash the Starlit Knight because that'll be the second boomerang we're able to strand. So I think we'll just do triple install. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately. Triple draw is actually probably not right. Not wrong. We also could just like not wage workers. So we know the next card on the deck. So we could do draw. I think we just need to get an agenda on the table. But I do want to overinstall this. So like, why not? New remote. We will shuffle. Server 13. Shuffle. I forgot what the next card was, but we weren't impressed by it. R&D, that's 2 boomerangs down. And I'll just get money. Like we do need some amount of money. Okay, so now we're going to play with whatever we top deck. Hopefully it's good. We can spin Dr. Shuffle, go from there. They still have a tag. They have to remember that. Biobands is probably going to clear the tag. You think of what I'm thinking? Wait, so they're going to clear the tag. So we can clear the tag for them and deny them 2 card draw. Technically, they have an action here. I don't think we show them they have B1001. We just want to technically spend an action here before we consider spin doctoring. That's what it looks like. Kind of, but I think this is all ice. And yeah. I don't think we B1001 this. Nah. Just maybe shuffle. Yeah, I don't technically it's right. We could be this. It's just like it denies 2.5 card draw. Getting a flip switch down would be like a thing that we have to kind of worry about. Like resing the Hydra into a flip switch is pretty bad. But the money just isn't there. It's played 2 sure gambles, 2 dirty laundries. That's not too bad. We've eaten an info bounty. I came from VOD and you're still alive? Net Dead, how's it going? Good evening. Yes, we are. I didn't realize it was as late as it is. We've been playing like Epiphany-esque decks and like, it's been okay. It's been fine. How are you doing? Are you playing this weekend, by the way? I didn't plug it enough. There's a huge tournament this weekend. It starts at 5 p.m. local on both days, Saturday and Sunday. That'll be again on twitch.tv/nullsignal netrunner. It's going to be long. It's a hard time zone, even for where I am. You're going to see some fatigue kick in definitely in the later rounds. So hopefully everyone can get the rest before. There's a lot of folks casting. It's like a pretty varied schedule. I won't be on for every round as much as I'll be like doing the stream for every round. So technically I'll be there. Good. I did not qualify the event. Ah, bummer. I assumed you did. Sorry to hear that. That's okay. Is there anyone you're cheering for? Does anyone want to make any calls? Who they think is going to win? It seems like it's going to be a big event. Obviously. Some people from my meta will be representing though. Nice. I'm not sure if I know your meta. I think for some reason I think you're Texas, right? Maybe I should have known. I do not plan on winning to narrow it down. Okay. You plan to take it solo? Yeah, Austin. Okay, cool. It's going to be a huge event. It really is. Crow, are you playing or are you judging? I haven't played in a month. Oh, but you're rolling up. Sick. What are you playing? What are your expectations if you haven't played in a month? T400 coming down. That doesn't really do much. Hand size is nice. 20 coming down. Yeah. I will res this Maryland. We do need some amount of money. And we're going to draw unknown cards here. Bellona. So if we install advanced events, we don't get a wage workers, but we'll get a wage workers next turn. The other option is to install advance, and then if they trash the wage workers, we don't get a Bellona. I'm just going to go for the Bellona play because this seems really safe, and then we can still use the wage workers to score this in jam next turn. I'm happy the Lou is performing well. Yeah. I'm not sure how to address that too, right? Like, I think people play HB because it has a reasonable matchup until Lou or into Mulch. I really like playing aggro Lou into HB. I think that's a great matchup for Lou. But I'm probably wrong about that because I think that's why people are playing PD right now. But Lou is like keeping the NBNs back. Getting comfy with decks that can high roll people as usual. Hell yeah. Let's go. End of the line. Public challenge and techie. Cora says I'm judging. I didn't even bother trying to qualify this year. Too busy running the AMTs to win one. Well, hey, people appreciate that. Your work for sure. This will be my first online tournament. I'm stoked to get crushed. Yo, Lockmanos. That's sick. For online tournaments, right? Like make sure you're stretching your legs, getting your water. Use notepad.exe. You can keep your deck list up. All that good stuff. Keep that in mind. But if you do get crushed on round 1 or round 2, don't worry. It only gets easier. There's a lot of people who are playing in the CBI just because, right? That's a fun organized play thing. So it only gets easier. Eventually you get paired against like round 1. It could be against anyone. Round 2 will be someone with your score. So just hold on if you can. Free Alliance. Yeah, I really hope that when they show the names of the players, they say where they're coming from, because it's so cool. That's such an international event to be like, this person's coming from, well, obviously, you know, wherever. All right. Not a great mess in Chesso res. They can't steal Bolognas, but they prog here. They pop their no free lunch so they can lose it immediately. It's an option. We'll leave it open for them if they see the line. Shooting for 50%. 5 p.m. is after my start drinking time. Yeah, 0. No action. Yeah, 5 p.m. is like to 2 or 3. It's real late. Hopefully you do all right, eh? So this just ends the run. They get a scry to look at to, not like move them around. We're down to 9 credits. Luckily, Blona does pay for itself. We have Maryland ticking. So ideally, we do triple advance, jam the next thing. Ideally, the next thing is the one tomorrow's headline, or the 4-2 and the wage worker sticks, which looks kind of likely. Epiphany hasn't been very relevant, but again, it's the sort of matchup where they're just like, we have 2 Aries and scored. So like we kind of, did we go too hard? Like this is the sort of thing that turns off your ID ability. Oh shit. I mean, like, I guess. Oh, we should have got Bologna first. Shit, again. Oh man, it's getting late. You can get the money first. Okay. I don't think we'll pay for this. None of these really matter that much. Yeah. Came back? I don't think we get rid of much here. I forgot T400 doesn't beat Link. I think getting rid of the Masterwork is probably the most annoying. They install it for a credit and it draws a card. That's not bad. T400 is like, doesn't do anything. Prognostic is probably something we could have asked for action, mind you. They could have like used Prognostic. I don't think we boost, and we'll see what they do. Be good to remind the player how Masterwork ads is supposed to work. I've been in his shoes and appreciate experience device. Yeah, it's really hard because he's on a board state where it's hard to do the thing anyways. But yeah, in theory, on 6 credits, it's sometimes hard to pay the extra here. But yeah, when you run there, you want to use the Masterwork and Boomerang. I was giving them the benefit of the doubt that there was something else in their hand they wanted to install, like a flip switch or I don't know what. But I don't think they're like really flubbing it. I think they're just like behind. Yeah, whatever. This might engender a run. What? Why server 13? It's because I clicked it. I wanted to say it's server 3, sorry. Maybe they got spin hold. Anyone who hasn't seen, you don't need to play, not even round 1 to qualify for the end of line, as long as you have purchased a ticket to get participation prize, even if you don't show up. Crore, have they showed the end of lines yet? I haven't seen what the prize support looks like. End of line is a really cool prize support card. Are you guys going to show art where you unkill the Canadian guy? Mike shared a scan? Oh, sick. Where can I see that? Do you have a link, Crore? They're on Twitter? NSG still on Twitter? /Fetty? Wait, I don't know what that means. Federal fundraising? I don't know what that means. Twitter, null signal games. Oh, cool. Benjamin Galletti draws this. This is Circuit Breaker Mike P. Mike P. What's Mike P's handle? That's cool, though. I like that. That's a nice tie. UK. Oh, Leech Road. Sick. That's MJP. Okay, that's what I was looking for. Yes, MJP. End of line looks like Dan? Like code? End of line cards look amazing. Yeah. Are they doing the like so for last year it was attached to like with the foiling and the double shiny and all that. This is just an alter, which like I'm not saying as like that wasn't what I meant to do. I'm not thankful about it, but it's interesting that there's a different thing this year. Code Marvelous. Oh no, oof. Apparently Sarkanar is glitching out. Wanna try refreshing? I'll stay put. FYI, Fed equals Fediverse Mastodon. Ah, cool, thank you. I know NSG is on Mastodon. I'm not too familiar with all of those platforms. I don't think there's a foil treatment. Okay. Okay, we have a bit more to gawk at this. Yeah, that's really cool. Mike P. That's not Sheehan. Mike Sheehan, right? What's Mike Sheehan's handle? Is that also MJP? I had an error for like 2 seconds, but it fixed itself a moment ago. Okay, cool. All right, boomerang. They're going for it. We put a thing there, so they want to do the thing. We can just keep this ping unres until it really matters. If they get in here, it's still, well, they have an issue with message chesvo. I think Mike Sheehan is just Mike Sheehan. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Courier is coming down, so they can break a ping too, so they can deal with both of these. This looks like an agenda. For sure, it looks like an agenda. But it's not. No free lunch, they cracked it for 3, so the message chesvo might connect. Message chesvo is also not if able, so you can't like duck it by boosting the Courier. Click for a credit, now they could run this. They feel like they have to because we're on game point. Oh, undo click. Maybe they have a, okay, cool. So we're not gonna risk the ping here. This run's not that important. As soon as they spend a credit on the ping, the Managarm saves it anyways. No good if skunk works. Yeah, it's tricky. Yeah, maybe not. We'll see. We're not gonna res this. Strands the boomerang, which is okay. This will res because it does connect. Action. In theory, they can action here if they want to like technically hush off the top rope with prognostic. Right? Okay, if he insists. Message House is pretty good. I think 4-cost dice, right? Like people are playing Buzzsaw so heavily right now. Like Horda, Message Chesvo, all that stuff got way better. I think Message Chesvo was underplayed anyways. It's not game though. This looks like game for sure. The next line for them to be like trash wage workers, but they're a credit short. But if they trash wage workers, it puts us off of having a 4-2. Nah. Draw. Okay, installing that's something. Draw. We might as well triple draw. No agenda. So federal fundraising is the next best thing. If we put in server 3, it's safe. I'd argue that we don't need the regolith mining license, so we probably want the federal fundraising in there anyways. Just because we need this to find the winning agenda. They have 1 on bones? Yeah, but they were on 2 credits. Right? So if they click for credit, they didn't have a turn. So they couldn't. Because I think they had 1 click left with 2 credits. So they either have to make a run and then they have 3, or they'd have to click for credit to be on 4. With Miss Bones in mind, right? Unless I messed it up, which is, that happens. Bologna here would be fine. I will do the Maryland after. Because if we don't see the agenda, we want to shuffle. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, no, but we can't draw. Oh, monkey. Oh, I messed up the order. Because we can't draw because it's iced. If we can't draw, this is wrong. Because we just won't shuffle with the Maryland. It's optional. It's fine. Yeah, still probably the right way to do that. Server 3. Okay. Advance. And then safety would be a second B1001. You're still right. You just shuffled. Don't shuffle. Yeah, exactly. I scared myself for a bit. I've been struggling so hard with getting like optimal federal fundraisings that late night. Yeah, yo, Trillion, how's it going? It's Epiphany. You know how long it takes us to look at the top 3 of the deck? It takes us a moment. I think Epiphany fired once this turn. But again, we scored 2 AR. Of course it's not going to fire. Hopefully you're doing well. Okay, so on this turn, they have to figure out how to get through a message chesvo. They have to get through a ping twice because of B1001, and they still have to deal with Managarm. That's kind of as safe as it gets. Some of these decks are running Anoetic, very similar idea. I think a Managarm is probably okay enough. But here they really can't do much. If they want to play around Bologna, they should trash the wage workers. But yeah, I feel like that is just still going to be a hard spot for them to be in. Good game. And then here you get the disgusting Amadi Sanai, more like money goodbye, and then you return something. I shouldn't have done that. That was BM. I was just clicking through things. Not that big of a credit disparity though. 60 to 66. Not my fan. Oh, it's all good. As it's tricky for sure. I think you might have missed some click compression. Installing boomerangs from hand instead of at the top of the run. Right? When they were on 15 credits, it makes more sense to do that. When they're on like 5 or 6, you might actually, like your click worth a credit might be reasonable. Or you might just want to install it from hand to save a click. Well, then you just click for credit. No, it's a wash. Yeah, so you should always use the masterwork. Man, I've been really enjoying as. Like, I think I want to grind more as. I'm pretty sure you can make as that is relatively competitive, but also people don't know how to play against it. Play with something simpler. It's okay. Hey, that's getting the reps in is important for sure. Thanks for the game, eh? All right. That's largely going to be it. Thanks so much for hanging out. Hopefully you're enjoying the VOD or live. That's good too. If I don't see you before the weekend, again, we'll be streaming all weekend. 2-day stream. It's going to be a big stream. It's on twitch.tv/nullsignalgames. Oh, sorry, Null Signal Netrunner. That's a really important one because it's not what you think it is. It's different than the website. That will be there. That'll start again at 5 p.m. Eastern is when my time zone. So yeah, all the information, mind you, is up on their website. I will link into that for sure, but that should be just this weekend, the Circuit Breaker Invitational. We saw a bit of the prize support already. It looks pretty cool. Going to be a really big event. Stoked to see you there. We're gonna be sharing the mic with a lot of folks. Again, it's not here. It's going to be on Null Signal Netrunner. That's largely it. Thanks so much for hanging out. We'll be back next Tuesday as well, doing a stream on Thursday. The following Pat should be joining us. As he said, we'll be able to interview the winner of the CBI, which I'm pretty sure is just, we're going to talk to Pat when he wins the CBI. That'd be really fun if Pat wins the CBI. I'm rooting for him. That's largely it. Thanks so much for hanging out. This one went late. It's past midnight. The lights haven't turned off yet, but the longer I stall, the more likely it will be. Take care, y'all. Thanks so much for hanging out. We'll see you in a bit. Good luck on the weekend. Ciao.